Like then they would have sucked out a lot more money from you, Manny.
Yeah.
Danny.
Yeah, no. There's this Twitter user that a few of the Monogatari stuff went on sale on Black Friday, and she was posting how like, yay, I got more stuff for my collection, and you just see a shelf full of every season of Monogatari, including like the phone app one, because apparently they put those out.
You can put these right here. There's a phone app one?
There was an app for Monogatari. It was Koyomi Monogatari was an exclusive for a phone app.
Oh yeah. I remember the anime man talked about it.
Yeah, and that was the one that's the one I still need to watch actually.
I haven't watched that one either.
I think the plan was we were supposed to do that and then lead into Kizo, but I guess we just kind of forgot about it.
Forgot about it because holy shit, it's a really big movie, big series. And then there's Zoko wearing Monogatari, which is the end story, I believe.
God damn it!
For now.
Good. Well, if it's adult Hachikuji, does that mean it's gonna go into more detail about what happened in the alternate timeline?
No, this is not. Apparently, like the plot for this one is that Araragi actually enters a mirror world.
Oh.
Where like pretty much everything's inverted. So Hachikuji's no longer a lolly; she's an adult, and it's funny the way how they. You gotta see you want me to show you the YouTube video?
Yeah.
Dude, I just couldn't stop laughing how everybody just changed it, especially Ononoki.
Oh, okay. So, anyway, guys, welcome back to a brand new episode of Busted Musket Productions Animating, the show that keeps churning out content, but barely publishes it. Don't worry, I'm getting to that this week. I promise, I will lock myself in my room. Especially since I work really early tomorrow, and I get out early from work, so I'm good. Huh?
Oh, that's just the guy's introduction.
Alright.
But it's just random clips, so they're not all tied in the best way.
Oh. So there's a alternate reality where he mainly had to focus on her.
I think so.
And as soon as you said it was inverted, I'm like, okay, so she's an adult who's like incredibly rapey towards him, as opposed to him being really rapey towards her.
But it gets better. Just like when you realize like how else everybody else changed.
Damn. How often does she do this in the movie? That happened so fast. I'm like, wait, what?
That made me laugh because I'm like, damn, now he knows how hard. First it happened with Kanbaru, now with older Hachikuji.
Yeah.
My age, pretty much.
Yeah.
I just realized that.
The thing that's it is that she's 21, but she's still just like a grade school uniform.
Alright?
I wonder if this is a kink they're gonna talk about, saying like, yeah, the other Koyomi kind of had me just like this.
Yeah, because based on what she says, like, it's not that Araragi didn't change or anything. It's just that he wandered into that dimension, I believe.
Oh, okay. So is it like this world didn't have a Koyomi? Or?
I don't know yet. That's why I want to watch the movie to see the explanation.
Well, it looks like it's already dubbed, so it's out there. Became shorter, so she became more lolly. Oh, wait, so she's smiling now?
Yeah, she became more expressive.
Aw.
I just couldn't laugh. I just laughed at the smile. I was like, I don't know. That stuff seems like it's forced.
Yeah. This is definitely one of those, like, this is a movie, but it's done in the same, like, animation as an episode.
Yeah.
Because when you look at that, but then you look back at Kizo, you're like...
They're way differently animated.
Yeah. And also, like, one, again, like, apparently, according to Joey, the thing took them, like, more than 9 years to finish.
Oh, shit, that's right.
Yeah. I should look back, but I don't know. I don't think it was a video he talked about. I think it was in his podcast with Aki, and that's a couple of episodes to go back on. That show got canceled like long ago.
Which one?
The anime show that he was doing with Aki. They should totally bring it back now that they're living like closer together now. But
I don't know which one you're talking about.
Oh yeah, there was a podcast. Oh, I don't have it in my things anymore. But there was a podcast they did called The Anime Show with Joey and Aki, and it was just them sitting around and talking about different topics.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem I had with the show is you could tell not even they had time to do it.
Yeah.
So 30 to 50 minute episodes are quickly going to like 14 to, God, one time there was even like a 9-minute episode.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like... Eventually, you could tell they weren't able to do it or just didn't want to put a lot of time into it. And then the company that was producing the podcast for them, like putting it out there, canceled them.
Oh.
Yeah. But again, it wasn't like, oh, well, I'm going to go rush out and make my own podcast. They just kind of went back to doing their own thing. And I'm like, I don't think this is a podcast they had much love for. but
Which is understandable, because, I mean, again, they did pretty much have full schedules, and this was before, again, like you mentioned, they lived with each other.
Yeah. Yeah, well, hopefully now they'll be able to do it. Or do something along the lines. I didn't realize until I was looking through... my AX magazine when I was throwing away some stuff a few months ago, that Joey and Giguk, my bad, that Joey and Giguk were hosting panels at AX last year. Mm. Like they did an Overlord panel, and I think they did like another light novel panel, but they were like flat out hosting panels, and I'm looking at like Joey looks like he's doing 5. I think Giguk's doing like 2. Jesus Christ, these guys. And then that's not to leave out like the other stuff they're probably doing that aren't panels, like going to parties and stuff.
Mm-hmm. And then signing events and everything like that.
Yeah, just or like even doing the YouTuber hangouts where they meet up with all the YouTubers, and then you have those group of people who find out where the location is at. Oh, and just like bombard them.
Yeah. Oh my God, man! I remember the one with when they were when it was Joey, Noble, Misty, and then Aki were sharing the same hotel room.
Oh, did they have an issue with that too? Someone found the hotel room?
No, like it was one of their vlogs that they were posting.
Oh, okay.
Because like they posted it after AX just so like nobody like bombarded all 4 of them at once.
Yeah.
But like they were doing they released a vlog of what they did and everything. And apparently like they did a spanking challenge with each other.
Oh.
Like
okay.
They put it on YouTube, but they just didn't show the part where Aki got spanked.
Yeah, for obvious reasons. Yeah, there would be a lot of white knight people there. There are people still trying to like white knight her when like Joey messes around with her. I'm like, dude, that's her boyfriend. She's not complaining about it. But anyway, guys, welcome back to our new show. A new episode.
Same show.
Yeah, same show, new episode. But this time we're gonna... Ooh, I'm a bad person. Okay.
What happened?
I didn't queue up anything. I didn't queue up shit. Anyway, guys, today we are talking... real quick. I just saw something today that as soon as I finished it, I'm like, okay, this is a potential episode right here. But I finished...
we're talking about the update for Honkai Impact 3?
Huh?
Oh, never mind.
Wait, what? No!
Just going over my own machinations. Don't mind me.
You want to do an episode on a mobile game? Or are they doing something with said mobile game?
So as far as I can tell, there's a lot of shit budget. There's a lot of money going into this game now, both from the consumer point and the company point.
Oh.
But they're actually doing that. I did not know this, but a lot of the PVs from the mobile game I'm playing, Honkai, they actually have a lot of their animations on Kiss Anime.
Really?
Like it's being like distributed as like actual standalone episodes. I'm like, what? Because the animations are god tier in there. For a mobile game.
Yeah.
For a mobile game with a story, the animations are like, ooh, I like this story. Oh, what were you gonna pull up, by the way?
No, I'm pulling up the Alita trailer right now. But no, I was saying that like I finished a movie called Osamu Tezuka's Metropolis. Mm-hmm. And if that name sounds familiar, that's the creator of Astro Boy and the currently running Dororo. Well, the writer.
Dororo.
Yeah, I'm 2 episodes behind.
Holy shit, man, you need to catch up this.
I know.
Oh.
I caught up on Shield Hero, and I saw the episode this morning, and I'm literally like, finally someone's putting that bitch in a place. But you probably haven't seen it yet, no?
No, but hey,
I won't say it
I
again.
just realized that, hey, your hoodie kind of reminds you of his cloak.
Right?
Because of the white fluff and then the green color.
Right? I need that robe. But, cloak, it's not a robe. But yeah, finally they had an episode, that I'm just like, finally, it's not much, but they're putting that bitch in a place.
I can imagine which one it is and just remember from the manga.
Yeah. But anyway, like, yeah, but basically, without going into much detail, because that's not what we're talking about today, but like, it's a animated movie done by Madhouse, so it's beautiful. And then when you look at when the movie was released, you're like, this movie was probably being produced in the 90s, and it looks fucking gorgeous. Of course, with some CG, some wanky CG here and there, but it's really cool. It's about like this this Japanese detective and his nephew go to this city that they don't really say what the city is, but it's kind of hinted that the city might be French. Where people coexist with robots, but when they say coexist, they mainly mean the robots work for them and the people don't really do much.
Yeah.
But it's a really cool looking movie. I probably might want to do an episode on it one day, but there's still a lot of stuff we gotta go through right now.
We gotta go through a lot of stuff, and you just added more to that plate, Danny. Because when you mentioned that, it reminded me of this other film that was like somewhere. I think it was like in the 90s or something as well, called Jinro. I think it was like a city riot incident or a Jinro incident.
Jinro. Oh.
But I'd be pretty curious to check it out more as well. More details to come later on for that.
Yeah. So because what do we got next week? We got
Goblin Slayer.
Or
St. Patty's Day.
Yeah, and then we would have had the next. We're gonna have Genlock. Genlock would have been next week. But yeah, because the final episode's like on Saturday. But yeah, we got Genlock, and then we have the mysterious anime that not even I know that you told me about.
Oh,
yeah, planned. Like, yeah, you're like, that's going to be a secret, and I'm like, okay, I can wait. And then after that, I don't know what I want to do. I might want to dive into like an older anime just because it's like we haven't really done that in a while.
Astro Boy.
Oh God, let's do the Dororo from the '60s and just be like, God, this is like clip show art.
Dude, whenever I watched the original Dororo, it just reminded me of when I went to the Anime Film Festival for which one was it? For ReZero, for No Game No Life Zero.
Yeah.
Where they showed where like people from the I think it was like the Japanese community or the history museum. I forget which one, but they were actually able to find like the first ever like actual animated footage that was made in Japan.
Yeah. I think I know what you're talking about too. But it literally it looked like the classic paint art, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But when it gets down to what was the first adapted one, I think that was Astro Boy. Yeah. So that's why Giga called him like the grandfather of anime, and it's like, yeah, well, you made Astro Boy, which hasn't, like the mangas are still in print, and there was a TV show like back in the early 2000s
Yeah.
But you know, Astro Boy hasn't really gotten a lot of love. There was
There was
also
that one movie.
that is true.
There was that one movie that they made.
But I can imagine a lot of people don't like to talk about that movie because I saw a little bit of it a few months ago. I'm like, oh my god, what the fuck is this? But people tell me, yeah, that's Astro Boy. I'm like, with butt guns? Come on, no.
Yeah.
That's an Astro Boy thing. You're kidding me. That's so stupid. I thought that was something the American movie put in. And I'm like, no, this
It's Astro Boy.
Yeah, it's Astro Boy.
So as far as American adapted movies go, that one stays loyal to that at least.
Yeah, it was loyal. And even then, I don't think it was bad, but it's just like, oh, it's kind of cringy because it is trying to stick to like what Astro Boy is.
Mm-hmm.
But then it is kind of jarring because Astro Boy is supposed to be like a kid, but you have like a going through puberty Freddie Highmore, the kid from like the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory movie playing him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, wow, you sound way too old to be voicing this character. And oh my god, we still haven't really...
We still have to hit the movie.
Yeah, we still have to hit the movie. That is not any hate against what we're talking about today. Actually, it should be honored because it is going to be the first live-action anime adaptation to be mentioned on this show. Have we talked about it? No, right?
I don't think we just keep mentioning it. Like I know for a longest while I've always been mentioning like, dude, you guys gotta check out the Rurouni Kenshin live action, but we never reviewed it.
Yeah. I want to do that for like a month. Yeah.
Back to reality. Back to reality month.
Yeah, back to reality month. But there are real people behind there.
Ooh, I'd be down for that.
Yeah, I want to like again. We have a lot of really good movies, and this is kind of my response to there are good live action movies. Can we stop shedding on them so much? Rurouni Kenshin, Tokyo Ghoul.
I still need to see that. I was interested in it.
Yeah,
when we talked about it.
It's really cool how it's like more faithful than the anime adaptation because
the second season just killed it.
Oh yeah, the second season. I know, and then like people like Ri is good, and I'm like, but then I realize those are people who like they didn't read the mangas, like they're just watching the anime. So I'm like, you don't see. I don't want to be toxic, you know. I don't want to come off as toxic, but it's like,
hold on, let me get my mask.
Yeah.
Before you talk, I'm like, all right, I'm prepared.
I'm just saying. They should read the manga and really understand what the shows were doing, what the first season was doing, how they were able to do everything that the manga had intended, and then they went for that alternate reality route that was just like, well, you took away all of everything that was good about Kaneki, some really legitimately cool arcs and character progression. Just so you...
Oh, for Route A?
Yeah, for Route A. Like they ruined everything that was good in the manga, and it ended up affecting...
the rest of the seasons, because...
Like, Hide is a major character in Ri, I hear?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they can't use Hide because he's dead, because they killed him.
Well, they do. They bring him back.
What?
He's just, like, missing half his face.
What? What?
Yeah.
Fuck, no. What the fuck? Then what's the point? Okay, let's just talk about the movie, else this is never gonna end. Anyway, I want to do fucking Tokyo Ghoul movie. I want to do I Am a Hero, and then of course it won't be in the month, but it should. With this movie, Alita Battle Angel will also stand side by side with those. Hey, there are good like anime manga adaptations. This is This is actually more of a
Manga adaptation of anything.
Yeah, well, it's also follows more heavily towards the OVA that came out.
Yeah, the single one.
Yeah, but again, they take things from the manga, so it really is like, okay, you took this from the manga, you took the structure of the OVA and put it in your movie, but you really replaced the stuff that didn't work with the manga stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about Alita Battle Angel. Huh? Ooh, that's not good. Where are you, headphones? Where are you?
Why don't you just disconnect the Bluetooth from right here?
I can, but I don't want the headphones to remain on. They're probably in my backpack. I will deal with that later. It's okay. That thing has like 24-hour battery. I'll go ahead and disconnect it.
Damn.
I'm still trying to get used to this phone. Anyway.
Just switch to an Android.
I know. Well, I would have, but then they're like, oh, but he wants Apple. And I'm like, you know what? Never mind. It's cool.
You told me the story of the war, when the ground shook and the sky burned. Of the ones that survived, who awoke to a different world, where the powerful prey on the weak. But that's not the way it has to be.
When I found you, your very human brain was miraculously intact.
It's the loneliest feeling not to know who you are.
In time, you'll remember.
I remember black skies, the lightning all around me.
Alita is new again.
It's a harsh world out here. You gotta be willing to do what it takes.
Alita, run!
Oh, dude, that fight.
Right? Oh my god.
That fight when she started hissing it.
Yeah.
It's so anime right there.
They don't even show like the other guy where she like bashes his head.
Yeah.
Contains technology that have been lost for 300 years.
Let me show you something.
This body, I feel a connection to it. I can't explain. You know more about me than you're saying.
Alita, some things are better left forgotten.
And I'll find out for myself.
She's threatening the natural order of things. I need you
Dude,
to
that guy reminds me so much of Blade, the way they dressed him again.
Yeah, Mahershala Ali.
I'm like, dude, Blade's the antagonist of this movie. So after the vampires were slain, he decided to become a leader of the underworld.
Yeah. Just go into underground like shadiness.
Yeah.
The design on this guy still freaked me out.
Dude. Nothing was like... They had plenty of budget for the fights and everything, man.
Oh yeah, man. But we'll get into it right now.
Christ.
This movie. Okay, so again, we're talking about Battle Angel Alita, the
I was about to screw that up. I was about to say Battle Alita Angel.
Battle Alita Angel. Hey, I kind of like that now. Yeah, well, I fucked it up because I called it Battle Angel Alita, but it's not. It's not that. That's the official American manga name. Mm-hmm. It's Alita Battle Angel because apparently that's their way of getting around a copyright that they got hit with. Where there's this company that owns the right to like have Battle Angel. Yeah, I should get one.
Grab pieces.
Wait, of this one?
Yeah, if you want. I don't bite onto the bun. But continue.
Yeah. So this is their way of getting rid of copyright because a company had come at them saying, "Hey, you don't have any right to use Battle Angel in your title." But apparently there was getting away with it, and that was basically turning the Battle Angel into a tagline, and then just putting Alita like big up there. So there are some posters that don't even say Battle Angel; they'll just say Alita.
Yeah.
But like lately, as the movie came out, I'd walk and see a poster that says Alita Battle Angel, and that's the way of getting past the copyright right there. And thank God, because let's not forget that this whole title is an American title. The Japanese title is Gundam or Gum.
Something around the lines.
Yeah, and
which is funny because when I finished watching this movie with my friends, one of my friends, like, he's getting into anime. Like he's kind of like right now, like the only thing he watches is like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and like Dragon Ball. He's like, that's one of the things that like that's like one of the long-standing series that he got used to watching.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I gotta give JoJo more credit though, because I'm still like, is that a beginner anime? Is that an anime you want to throw a newbie in? I don't think so.
Well, he works out a lot, so that's why he likes JoJo.
Oh.
Because of all the muscles and everything.
We should do an episode of Baki dedicated to him.
Do an episode of Baki. And teach people the whip strike.
Oh God, I still need to watch that.
But yeah, because after we had watched the movie, he legit got really, really curious about the whole manga and everything. He's like, I need sources. Like, where can I buy this?
Oh well, good luck finding them in stores right now.
Because he really got interested in it. I was like, is there an anime? Is there manga and everything? I'm like, I was like, apparently there's I know there's an OVA, but as for manga, I was like, funnily enough, ever since Alita ever came into theaters, I actually started Barnes and Noble started stocking up on some of the manga.
Mm-hmm. Well, even now they stocked up when the movie was coming out, but nobody saw that when the movie actually came out that they are running out of stock.
Yep.
Like you go to you go to Amazon, and even Amazon's like, we'll have this like in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're getting wiped out right now. You go to Little Tokyo, you go to like the 2 stores that sell manga over there, and they are annoyed that people keep coming over there asking for it.
And then, this is one of the things, like, you can tell that no matter how much, how much shit the movie critics gave it, you can tell that Alita Battle Angel, and like, again, this is not exaggerating, but it did what it was supposed to do.
Yeah.
Not only like present the story in a way like where people are gonna like it and everything, especially since it's live action, because we know what type of reputation live action tends to get with the anime community.
Yeah.
But it brought a lot of new people who actually got interested in the story, including my friend who like barely watches anything, but like really got curious about it. Like I'm not lying when he said like he was legitimately after the movie he just pulled out his phone, started researching where he can just started buying like buying the source material.
Yeah, and good on him for like wanting to look for the source material and not just be like, okay, kiss manga and then boom. Because I know a few people did that like almost immediately, and then I know one person who was like, I don't want to wait that long to read this, so I'm just gonna read it online.
Yeah.
Give me the name of that website you go to for manga. And I'm like, no, just buy it. Give me the name. I'm like, fine.
Just buy it. Support him.
Yeah.
Support him.
I'm supporting it, and I'm so happy because I know there's the Battle Angel, like there's the original Battle Angel manga. But also I saw other ones that were like Alita The Last Order and Alita Mars Chronicles. And I kind of underestimated how young the creator was or how recent the manga is. The Alita manga is not that old compared to like some other animes like this. It's 90 to 95.
Oh man, that's like Naruto and the Angel right there.
Right? Yeah. It's these things that you're like, wow, this must have started like in the 90s or earlier. They're like, no, this is a 90s show. So it's like, in the 90s they had the mangas come out. And when I found out, there's other mangas called The Last Order and Mars Chronicles, I'm like, okay, well, I bet those are not even done by him. No, they're done by him. So as soon as I'm done with, like, the Alita manga, I'm going to immediately go to those and just be so happy that I have more Alita. Because, before we go into, like, the plot and all that, when you were pointing out, like, wow, you could tell they dumped a lot of money into this movie. No kidding.
Yep.
So the movie is 170 million, but it's 200 million with marketing, and they said, well, this movie needs to at least make 300 to break even, over 300 to break even, which it did. It's at 350 million worldwide right now.
Woo!
Yeah.
Take that, Rotten Tomato critics.
I know. Ooh, that was Rotten Tomato critics. But like but then someone else came out and they're like, no. With everything else we did, including the Iron City passport, this movie has got to do like 500, and it's like, ooh, okay. But China came out and it's kicking ass. The only real problem we have right now is Captain Marvel opening up.
Yep.
And
That's a tough one. That's a tough one to beat because again, it's Marvel. Both Marvel and the studio and the character.
yeah.
But also again, it's like one thing that like a lot of people were like looking forward to as well when it got announced.
Yeah. There's a lot of hype around Captain Marvel, of course, but Brie Larson kind of pissed off the fans, so the movie is tracking horribly with fans right now. But yeah, they have to worry about that, and I feel really bad that people are like going towards Alita as, Alita's a better feminist icon, and it's like,
I blame EA for this kind of mindset just because of what like the director said about Battlefield on Battlefield 5.
Oh, because of the women soldiers in the
Women soldiers, and then like in a tweet when he said instead of like addressing like the audience concerns, he just called them like like unintelligible or like not addressing that this could have been a possibility.
Yeah, can we like stop doing that? Can we just say, hey? I'd just be like, look it up online. There are female soldiers. That's it. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to accuse anyone of being a sexist because that never works out. Ghostbusters.
Exactly.
Hey, tap tap tap. This movie does not look funny. This comment has been deleted by Sony. Man, look at this fat ugly black girl in this movie. And then that's the one where they're like, look at this comment. Go see the movie to tell people like him to shut up. It's like, oh god. Because Sony was flat when Ghostbusters came out. Sony was deleting comments where people were saying that the movie didn't look funny. Mm-hmm. And they were keeping on like the sexual, like the really sexist, misogynistic comments.
Just to kind of like pretty much just to kind of like if anything serve as a way to like motivate people to why to watch it if anything.
Yeah, and the only real issue Alita Battle Angel had in its production was her eyes are so freaky.
Dude, and that was funny because when we were watching that movie, my friend before we watched the movie, he's like, I see they're starting to apply the anime style to real life. I'm like, no, bro, that's literally how she's like in the manga. That she's designed to be like that.
Yeah,
it would have been freakier if everybody else had those same enlarged eyes.
Yeah, or like, or they just decided to make everyone look like the manga counterpart. So you have like Christoph Waltz who played Ito with like a really stretched out head.
Oh, yeah.
but there is a girl introduced in the manga called Shumera who has those big doughy anime eyes like Alita. But again, that's like they want that character to be cute, so they made it that way.
Holy shit, it's coming down.
Right, and with oh yeah, shit. And with what was going on with Alita Battle Angel is a lot of people were blaming Robert Rodriguez because a lot of people don't like that director, including myself. He has a couple of good movies I like, but I'm just like, man, this is some stupid weird shit that Robert Rodriguez is doing. And then he had to come out and be like, here's some concept art. This concept art was made by James Cameron. I'm just following the concept art. He wanted me to do this. Like, he wants us to dehumanize the physical appearance of Alita. So, again, he can show off his amazing, his company, amazing CG work that they do. So, it's like, okay, they did that on purpose. And it looks creepy. And, I mean, given with, like, the first trailer that ever came out, I realized the reason it looks so creepy is because you could tell they needed like another render on that.
Show me. I'm kind of curious now.
Yeah, I want to find that like first trailer.
Oh yeah. So while you're talking about that, I was like, again, concept about the eyes and everything as well. Because initially, like my friend was saying, like especially my friend Josh, the one who's like the one who really watches a lot of anime and everything, he was expecting this to flop.
Oh yeah,
because again, he's like one of the people who's like again, he's already seen too many live actions that he didn't like anymore. So he's like thinking like, it's like I don't have any high expectations for this show for this movie at all.
Yeah.
And then so when we were talking about the eyes and everything, because for him, he didn't know too much about the source material either. He only knew just about as much as I did. That pretty much like okay, so at least we know she's different.
Yeah.
So we know like that she's different and everything. Like that's why it's like focuses on her and everything, and just like that she's a cyborg. But we still couldn't get around the idea. Like, but damn, did they have to make the eye so big like that? Like, are they trying to make this into like mashing anime art style with like reality?
Yeah.
Because not gonna lie, if somebody made an indie film where everybody looks how anime characters would be represented in real life, that would be a good way to like just satire like just the anime style, like how actual anime characters will look like in real life.
Yeah.
If you put all the proportions and everything.
Yeah, and just have like just have a scene where they're walking around with a human skull in that movie, but like the sockets are like ginormous. Like the skull in what is it? The skull in Blood Lad.
Oh yeah.
A Fayumi skull, which is just ginormous. It's huge.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, they just have that, and it's like it would satirize like the fact that people want like waifus to be real and stuff. They want to be with a waifu, and it's just like, do you really want it? Look at Alita.
That would make a good Black Mirror episode.
Right?
That would make a good Black Mirror episode.
Hit us up, Black Mirror. I'll give us royalties.
Yeah.
God damn it. That could also fit into my otaku. I wanted to make like a scary stories to tell in the dark book, but it's like nothing but like otaku like scary stories. Like body pillows and stuff like that. I still haven't thought of anything about the body pillow. But it's weird ideas that I had in my head last year. And I'm like, I should do something with this.
Scary stories only otakus can relate. When you lose the figurine, your first figurine.
Or just like, oh, you really want to see an otaku horror story? Just watch Me. where your figurines will like come alive and ejaculate in your mouth.
Dude, that video still like, that was the weirdest video to this day that I've watched.
Right? But anyway, we'll go into deeper detail in the movie right now.
Well, look at you.
May your dreams bring
And I will put this stuff in the final product. You guys will see the trailers.
Dude, I keep forgetting how short she is.
Right?
The actress.
This is
Not the character, I'm talking about the actual actress. I keep forgetting how short she is.
Oh, Rosa Salazar? Really? So they didn't shrink her down?
I don't think so.
Damn.
I don't mean to be rude, but am I supposed to know you?
actually,
If you look a little closer, you can tell
we just met.
the eyes don't really have any real reflection to it. Or like her face isn't properly rendered yet. So there's this weird uncanny deadness to it.
It's a harsh world. The strong prey on the weak down here.
shines upon you again. It is
It's Blade.
Yeah.
Does it bother you that
And Miles Morales' uncle.
I'd do whatever I had to for you? I'd give you whatever I have. I'd give you my heart.
Yeah, you see it?
Yeah, I see it. What made the trailer kind of awkward.
I think you are someone very special.
It's
May you stay in the arms of the
like, even looking at this, it kind of got me hyped because I'm like, I have no idea what the fuck this is. But I remember hearing like on and off as the years went on that James Cameron had been wanting to make this into a movie ever since Guillermo del Toro introduced it to him. Like, Guillermo del Toro gave him like manga from it and told him like, and really got him into it. Even if when you look at the deluxe editions for the Alita manga, there is a quote from like James Cameron back there, kind of, you know, really cementing the fact that there is a movie coming out with him attached to it. But it really is like, I don't know what this is, but this looks fucking cool. I just can't get over those eyes. But I really got to give it to them. 10 minutes into this movie, and I kind of forgot the eyes stopped bothering me.
Right? Like, you just get used to it.
Yeah.
And especially when now that you mentioned like that render thing and everything, I kind of saw it like in the trailer what you were talking about.
Yeah.
Like, it just kind of like felt off.
Yeah, there was something off about her, and there are scenes that she is like talking that there's very little expression in her face, and when you see the final product in the movie, that's all that actress is doing is expressing and giving these little because they really want to sell the fact that Alita is being reborn again, so she's acting like a child. She doesn't really get what this world is.
Yep.
And she's really doing these very subtle facial expressions that kind of remind you of a little kid. Like, she puckers her face a lot, and when she's mad, she'll do this. I'll be like, wow, like, and a few people, like, some of the critics' problems was they thought she was too cartoony with her expressions. So I'm like, do you have a kid? Do you have a kid? Have you seen kids before? Like, I've been around enough kids because my mom used to run a daycare, but it's like, you do see just how over the top kids are with their facial expressions. And it looks, of course it will look a little cartoony because you have these giant eyes on this girl who
So
are
it just adds
super-
more emphasis to like what you're like, especially what you're gonna be doing, because psychology time with Luis again.
Yay! Psychology with Lewis again!
But yeah, so a lot of the times when we communicate between one person and another, some of it is through voice and everything, like, you know, like, oh, hi, Robert, like, do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
But a majority of what I communicate is also based on my body language. Like, for example, if I'm like standing like this as opposed to like this,
Yeah.
what kind of message will that convey when I talk to you?
Right. Yeah, because it really is just like, wow, you're lazy. Are you really into this conversation at all? But really, when you're moving around the body language, really having the face move and the body communicating and working as one, it really is just like, I get what you are. I get what you're trying to do. I get what you're telling me.
And more importantly, it tells you more. It's like, again, some of it's based on the language we say, and then again the facial reactions, the body motion, and everything.
Yeah.
So like with Alita, she's pretty much like you mentioned, going through like just trying to figure out who she is. She just got rebuilt and everything. So right now she's kind of like a child.
Yeah.
And like you mentioned, like children. Probably one of the only ages you'll be the most honest in your life.
Yeah.
Because children, like, every reaction children make are genuine. So if they hate something, they'll let you know immediately. If they like something, they'll let you know.
Yeah.
And especially with their facial expressions, like when they're discovering the world just like Alita is right now. So everything's gonna come to a big surprise, like when she ate the orange.
Huh?
Like when she was eating the orange, like how she loved it.
Yeah. Or like they gave her an orange and ate the peel along with the orange and like spat it out. And again, that was the first thing that hit me is when she spat it out, and I'm like, wow, that looked really natural. That didn't look like too out of it.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, never eat the orange. I'll never eat the peel. I do not understand people who eat peels at all.
I guess it's. I can see if you bathe in them because like you know you're just trying to get the last of like the orange extract out of it. But like eating the peel, I don't know if that. Well, I guess maybe if you need the fiber, maybe. But even still, that's gonna be tough to digest. So it's gonna be sitting there for a while.
Yeah, I've heard a thing that it causes constipation, which I'm like, I don't want that. But no. I mean, I don't know if it was middle school or elementary, but
I'll get my phone.
yeah. But I used to have a friend who would eat the peels. My mom would give me an orange and I'd unpeel the orange, and the next thing I know, my friend sitting next to me, all the peels on the table would be gone, and I'm just like, what happened to the peels? And it wasn't until like a week later I found out my friend eats peels, but he's kind of ashamed of it, so that's like he would eat them and not tell me he ate them.
Oh wow.
So like I just had a friend that when I ate an orange, I gave him the orange peels, and I'm like, okay, I don't get it because orange peels are nasty.
I've only tried the whites of the orange peel.
Oh, you never tried like the actual...
The skin,
Yeah,
not
still?
the skin and anything. Because the whites, I would eat it from time to time only because it's enough fiber there to improve like flow of anything, but not too much. Where like if I eat it, it's gonna back me up.
Yeah, and and given like the skin itself is very, it's still very much a part of the orange, like the part of the orange we like, but it's the shell, it's the outside of the orange that when you bite into it and it has that really bitter like sour taste to it. Mm-hmm. That's just gross. So,
by the way, Danny, speaking about peels and everything, do you eat your burger with or without the peel?
who the hell does that? Oh my god! Please remove any. No, of course I don't. I always unpeel my burger. Why would you do that? Even though when you look at it, it looks way too perfect, so it almost looks like the guy like cut it and then took a bite out of that spot. But no, I've seen people do that too. Like not eat the paper like that, but I've seen them get like so hungry that they unpeel the burger, but they didn't notice that it was those burgers that had like another paper on it, so they just bite into it and be like, "What the fuck?" Oh,
that's me. That's me with food. I get too impatient.
I eat through the paper.
So I guess I'm like your friend. I just eat the peel without noticing though.
Yeah. Well, no. His whole thing is that he loved them, but he knew people would make fun of him about it. So he'd steal them from me when I wasn't paying attention because I was a very floaty kid back in the day. And then like once he told me, I'm just like, well, Here, fucking take my orange pills. I don't care.
Are you sure it was that he liked peels, or was the fact that it was his only source of sustenance at the time?
Oh God, no!
What have you just been ignoring the bigger problem, Danny?
Have you been reading about the mangas I gave you? No! I don't want that again. Oh God, that was his only meal. That's why he liked the pill.
He was just too ashamed to let you know that he was just starving.
No.
He just said it was like, no, it's just something I like.
No, I had a homeless friend. No, he would eat the school cafeteria meals. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, he was eating. It wasn't like I don't even have money for like the $1 for cafeteria. No, he was eating. But anyway, let's get down to the movie. So, Battle Angel Alita is of course a 2018, well technically 19 now, but it is a 2019 cyberpunk action adventure film based off the, oh my god, I forgot the dude's name. Luckily, I'm on the page already. But it is a manga created by No, I was not on it. God damn it, life, throw me a bone. Not a human bone though. But okay, sorry.
When you said that, I was remembering that scene in JoJo's where he has that fist in his mouth.
What?
It's just one picture I see every time whenever people start talking about JoJo theories.
Is that a new one? Like, is that from part 5?
I think it was from Diamond is Unbreakable.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about then. I just don't remember it. I don't remember it 100%. Mm-hmm. So, okay, here we go. It is based off the manga series Gundam, or, Battle Angel Alita here, created by Yukito Kishiro.
It almost sounds like oh no, never mind. I was about to say, it almost sounds like the fighting style that they described in the movie, but no, it's called Panzergrün.
Yeah, Panzergrün or Panzerkunst?
Panzerkunst, there you go.
Yeah, so it's based off a manga of his design and was picked up as a type of passion project by James Cameron, who had every intention to direct the movie, but production on the 5 Avatar sequels that no one is asking for became so heavy that he just finally decided to give it to his good friend Robert Rodriguez, who, as we know, is a very schlocky grindhouse director known for the Spy Kids films, Machete, the Mariachi films, which the first 2 Mariachi films are really good. What?
I just did research on what Panzerkunst translates to.
Oh, what is it?
Oh, it's Armor Arts.
Oh, actually, I think the manga brought that up too. Because the manga has like little italics at one point, where like every time they mention something, they'll have a little dot, and at the bottom they'll be like, "This is what this is." So,
I thought it was like tank style or something, because I know Panzer version is like, that's what the Germans call most of their tanks. So Kunst must be like style or Panzer, either Panzer style or Panzer punt.
It's just tank style. It's slow and clunky, but
Gets the job done.
Yeah, gets the job done. But yeah, and Robert Rodriguez, who, again, it's funny because he came out being like, I'll never do a Marvel movie because I want the kind of freedom that I can. I'll never do a big budget movie. Yeah, and here's Battle Angel Alita, given to you by a director you love. And he actually did a pretty damn good job. Again, the fight scenes are amazing. James Cameron, it was standing over him a lot of the time, which is why we never got too crazy of Robert Rodriguez moments, but the super over-the-top violence is there.
Yep.
And then
my only thing with the movie is that it did have cringy as hell dialogue at times.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Again,
we're gonna get into that. We're going to go into everything that just sad. Some of it didn't work in the movie, and yeah, some of it is the Robert Rodriguez's directing of the actors aren't that good sometimes, and this could have used a better script. But again, let's get into it. Where the movie opens up with a unnamed scientist played by Christoph Waltz, which is, I think, a German actor. I mean, he should have been German because he's played a Nazi.
He sounds German. He has the last name of a Nazi general, so I can see it.
Right, Christoph Waltz. Well, have you seen Inglourious Basterds?
Yes.
Yeah, that was him. The Jew hunter?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, that was him.
Damn, he really turned his life around after the apocalypse.
Right?
He really turned his life around once the war with Mars settled down. Damn.
Yeah, he's like, instead of fighting like robot people, I'm just gonna go attack this small religious group. But it's funny seeing him play like such a loving fatherly character, because for the longest time he was getting like typecasted as assholes, and it wasn't until the guy who caused that, Quentin Tarantino, put him in Django Unchained, where he played a very fatherly and caring character towards Django, the Jamie Foxx character. So it's nice to see him coming back and doing a character like that again, but this time it's a much more softer character with more backstory. But he's going under this ginormous scrapyard, picking like little eyeball parts and stuff. And it is almost scene by scene the opening shot of the movie, where he's picking up the top of the head of that robot and plucking out the eyeball. That's all in the manga.
Okay, so that's what I missed, because I'm not gonna lie, I was 5 minutes late to that movie, so I thought I missed a lot more from the opening.
Oh, okay. Well, let's keep going and see exactly where you came in.
Because I came in exactly when he saw Alita's like chest and everything, and then pulled her up. That's where I got.
Oh, you missed nothing. Yeah,
okay, good.
It's literally him looking around, and then he notices like a torso there, and he picks her up and is looking at like a torso and seeing a human head. And I don't remember, but he doesn't laugh when he sees it, right?
No, I don't think he. No, he doesn't laugh. He's just like looking at it in curiosity, if anything. Like, well, what have I found?
Oh, okay, because this is a weird thing in the manga and the OVA. Like, he just starts like laughing his ass off when he's like holding her body, and they like do what the movie did, where it's just a silhouette shot pulling away of him holding the body and laughing. I'm like, that seems really shady. But
what's going on? There's like, finally found that missing part from my surrogate daughter.
But yeah, so we have a scene of him taking her to the lab and being like, oh look, there's a fully intact brain in there. She has a core that is apparently super powerful and can actually power the city alone.
That's technology for you.
The United Republic of Mars, which is something I'll go into the movie later, but they have not even dived into that in the manga yet. Like, really? I'm technically on volume 6, because it's like 2 volumes in one manga. So I'm on volume 6 on the 3rd deluxe edition, and Alita has a memory of training on Mars, but there hasn't been any actual dropping of the United Republic of or what Alita was sent there to do.
God damn it!
As opposed to the movie.
God damn it! That was one of the biggest things I was curious about, and this is actually one of the things that I'm a sucker for any type of sci-fi movie or anything. Whenever, like, especially when it comes to like something when it's like a post-war, like based on the post-war setting or anything like a major conflict. Whenever there's like especially whenever there's like whenever they allude to like, oh, there was once like a civilization or like a republic or an empire that was even more advanced than we were now, and the technology has kind of become lost. I'm like, that's such a tease.
Yeah.
I want to know how advanced they were. Like, what was it that made them so advanced and that pretty much like leveled the whole place or something?
Yeah. Well, the manga is flat. The manga is more of a tease because the movie shows you a bit. You know, they show you them fighting on the moon. They show that they have zero gravity training grounds and stuff. And
holy shit, man, dude, that moon battle looked epic.
Right? I'm just like, goddamn, 0G battles. We better get more of this. But yeah, so he takes it home, is repairing it with his assistant, who I don't know her name, but she's a gender-bent version of a character named Gonzo in the manga, who is this short guy way older than Ito who has like a metal plate on his head, and I am flat out talking about like someone just bolted a metal plate over his head, so he has like a flat top that's like a metal plate.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
And
I did not know that.
Yeah, and of course, like they're asking, oh well, what are we gonna name? You know, is she gonna have a name? And it's like, yeah, Alita. And almost immediately she gives him this look that tells the audience, yeah, he's photo projecting on this girl.
Like I was like when I first saw it, because Mind you, I did not read the manga before this. I only knew.
Yeah.
I only knew.
Oh,
'cause
me
again,
neither.
I only knew like every bits and pieces. But when he said Alita, well, first of all, when he said like her name's gonna be Alita, it's like then that's why it's Alita, Battle Angel.
Ooh.
And
It's funny how she gets the battle angel though.
I know.
But what were you saying?
And then the second part is when when you just like when his assistant like gives him that reaction, I'm like, there's history behind that name.
Yeah. I was flat out like, oh, there's history. Something tells me he's projecting on Alita. He's going to be projecting on Alita. Because one of the big things I was thinking is, where did he get that beautiful body from? Like, and he had something like that already ready? Like, was that something for a customer that now that customer's not getting that body? Because in the manga, when I started reading it after the movie, they wanted you to think that he was going out and killing cyborgs for their body parts.
Oh yeah.
But really, it was him it was him hunting down that serial killer and buying the body parts from the dead victims. So the beautiful hands that Alita had came from like a dead woman. But yeah, so he powers her up. And then the next day, this Alita wakes up in her bedroom with one thing I really appreciated about this world is they didn't bullshit with any of you need to give your body some time to get used to this new body, because in this world it's flat out you got your arm chopped off, here's a robotic arm and there you're good. I really appreciated that. I'm kind of tired of that whole you gotta wait, your body might be rejecting the body part.
I mean, yeah, and again, it's a prosthetic, so the idea behind a prosthetic is supposed to the only training is just getting used to using it that was not a good action to demonstrate, but use it to get used to moving it around, just getting back to the thing of things. But other than that, you don't have to worry about your body rejecting it or anything.
Yeah,
because it's metal. They just literally just strap a piece of metal onto you so you can use it for your convenience.
Yeah, and the reason I'm so defensive about that is because I got into an argument with my friend about Hugo. And we'll talk about that later.
I have yet to see that movie.
Oh no, sorry, I'm talking about Hugo, the male love interest in this movie.
Oh!
Yeah, he shouldn't have been able to function that well. He had a hard time. That's not the kind of world this is. This is a world where they could just plop your head in the body and you might not be used to it, but there's no bullshit of having your body get used to it. It's just flat out. You might need to get used to the fact that this isn't an organic human body anymore, but you can still walk around in it and, jump. And as we know, he wasn't the best. He didn't know how to use the body 100%.
But he was able to get it going.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, James Cameron, with this movie, he was actually able to beat that one Italian surgeon to the first head-to-body transplant. Hugo was the first person to have successfully survived a head-to-body transplant.
That is true, but when you think about it, so have the motorball players.
No, I mean I'm talking. I'm just pointing out to actual comparing to real life.
Oh,
because there was actually this article. Who knows if they're actually gonna do it or not? If this is just for publicity or anything. But there's this one Italian surgeon who proposed actually conducting this operation on this Russian paraplegic guy who's suffering a degenerative disease. So kind of the same disease that afflicted Hawking.
Yeah.
So he's kind of crippled. His body's not working and everything. And he's he only has a couple years left to live. So in the article, and again, could be fake because again this is the surgery that they described is years ahead of its time.
Yeah.
But the idea behind the surgery is that he was pretty much gonna take off the head of the guy who was paraplegic, connected collect the carotid and everything to an actual to an apheresis machine, so they can keep at least the blood flowing to the brain.
Yeah.
Keep it oxygenated. And what he was proposing to do is to sever the spine and the nervous system in the bundles right here, where all the bundles meet.
Yeah.
And then reconnect each of those individual nerves back into the new body, and then restore the blood flow and everything again. Put the arteries, match the arteries to where the new body's at.
Basically Wolfenstein.
Yes.
Yeah.
Basically Wolfenstein. But again, the way he described it in his article, the way the Italian surgeon described it in his procedure, this was something that's way advanced for its that's going to be way advanced. Only because we've yet to we still haven't figured out how to rewire our brain.
Yeah.
We still don't know how to don't know how to wire our brain back to normal or anything.
Yeah, and let's put it this way: have you seen Get Out yet?
Get Out? No.
No. So, what do I want?
I want to.
I'm gonna let you borrow the movie and I'll tell you what I'm talking about. I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil it. I'm like, it's something. If you have seen Get Out, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. But I'm not gonna talk about it right now. I don't want to spoil the movie.
Damn, Danny.
For anyone. What? I don't want to spoil the movie.
No, you just look like you're suffering right now.
I know. I'm like, oh, it was such a good point too. Anyway, but yeah, and I mean, given Alita's already, they call her a cyborg, but she's an android if anything.
Yeah, she's like, I mean, you can maybe the brain, but even still, that's all cybernetics.
Yeah. And I mean, given that's just how. I kind of want to meet the scientist who's like, I want all of our female soldiers to have giant eyes. Because, in case you didn't know, Michelle Rodriguez was in the movie as her mentor.
Wait, that was Michelle Rodriguez?
That was Michelle Rodriguez, yeah.
What the fuck? Dude, I couldn't tell because of the short hair. You know who she reminded me of?
What?
She reminded me of that, the one chick from Ready Player One.
Yeah, she looked like Artemis.
Yeah, she looked just like Artemis. Well, her avatar at the very least.
Yeah.
That was Michelle Rodriguez?
That was Michelle Rodriguez. Dude, it's a Robert Rodriguez film. He's not gonna do a movie without her.
Holy shit, I did not. Now the character has gotten like infinitely more respect from me.
Right.
Michelle Rodriguez is my favorite actress of mine.
I didn't. Yeah, I love Michelle Rodriguez. Actually, my first exposure to her was a James Cameron movie, and that was Avatar. She was like the badass pilot in that one.
Yeah, I remember. I think for me, for Michelle Rodriguez, I got exposed to her from Machete.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember she was in those?
Yeah. she was the one that was like running an underground network.
Yeah. No, I lied. Resident Evil.
Oh yeah. That is mine then. Yeah.
Never mind. Resident Evil was the first time I encountered Michelle Rodriguez.
I think that was a lot of people. Like a lot of people our age, that was probably the Resident Evil films. The movie where she was pissed off that they killed her off so early. She flat out, like they said, because there's a Resident Evil movie where they brought her back. The guy said she flat out told him at the end of Resident Evil 1, you made a big mistake killing me off like that. Yeah, so we have, Jesus Christ, the rain's coming down.
It's heavy. Wherever I go, the wind follows. So does the rain.
It smells like rain. But, yeah, so she's trying to figure things out, and, they left her clothes. And the one thing that didn't appeal, again, I had a kind of idea that Alita was a given name to her. It was like a borrowed name to her. But it really didn't hit me that I'm like, now when did he have the time to make a girl style room for her?
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I could see maybe he just maybe he's like one of those fathers that once he lost his child, he didn't want to
No, I didn't, because I didn't see the whole thing about the daughter thing coming.
Oh.
So it didn't.
So this was before that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when she woke up in that room, I'm just like, what did he get time to buy all of that for her? And I'm like, there's something going on here.
Holy shit, man.
Yeah,
that just went over my head.
Yeah.
When I watched the movie, that just went over my head. I didn't even think twice about the room.
Yeah, and that's like when he started saying like, look, your body was a body made for my daughter, because again, she had like she was going through the exact same thing that Italian doctor wants to do
with the Russian paraplegic.
Yeah, well, it's just like, okay, my daughter is not able to walk, and I wanted to give her a body where she could do that. So right around the time I was about to give her the surgery, one of my ex-patients came in looking for drugs and killed her. Didn't even really mean to kill her. It was just kind of like though she was in the way, and sadly she couldn't get out of the way fast enough. But it wasn't like he wanted to kill her.
No, yeah, and which one? By the way, one of the weirdest deaths I've seen.
Really?
Just because I know he pushed her out of the way and everything, but you just see when he rampages out, and then you just see an empty wheelchair, and then I'm okay, I guess.
What if there's a really morbid cut that they had to force Robert Rodriguez to cut out, but she's smashed against the wall or through a wall?
Oh God!
She got impaled through something.
Oh God! That one chick from recreators. Remember the daughter of the one detective?
Yeah.
In the manga, she was like being like merged with a robot.
Yeah.
Oh god, that's
What if it was something terrifying like that? Where like they didn't want to show the body because maybe they had a cut of, where the body landed, and they didn't want to show them that. But yeah, you're right. It was weird and even kind of funny when you look back at it, because it's just like
it's like one scene he's rampaging out. You see her scream. The next, an empty wheelchair.
yeah, But like, of course, Alita comes out and he's flat out treating her very kind, and like the woman, his nurse, who is of course one of those people who are like, look, I know you're a nice guy and all, and you want to help people, but you gotta stop letting people leave here without paying. But that guy's like, I'm gonna take some overtime, I'll pay you soon, but here's some oranges.
Oh yeah, when he gave him the bag of oranges for I think he got a new arm or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was I think that was it, because it was something like he did it, but it was still kind of shoddy because he said this is all I'm able to do for now. But yeah, it's like he's a really kind doctor, and she's just like that one woman figure in his life that is just kind of there to make sure he doesn't do anything too stupid. Mm-hmm. But they teach her how to eat, and they take her outside, and we find out that the town they're living in, our city, is called Iron City. And it's literally just like a mixture of a town that you could tell was nuked the fuck out of, that they threw like cybernetic pieces in there. And the thing I really appreciate about this movie is it feels so lived in.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just them walking around with like a few people in the background. You see people with like cybernetic pieces walking around.
And it's really busy as well. Like, you see, it's not something where like you see like maybe like five or six people in the background. There's a shit ton of people in that market just in that like all those confined spaces.
Yeah, and they even show you how interesting some of these prosthetics can be, where you have a guy playing guitar with one robot hand, but then he has like a hand that splits into two little hands, like his hand splitting down the middle, like adjusting the strings in the front, and it's like, it's so cool when you see little things like that. Mm-hmm. And I did appreciate seeing like, someone pointed out, and I noticed it, but they even wanted it to feel that it not only is it a large giant lived-in town, but it's also kind of like crunched in a bit. Mm-hmm. But someone pointed out that you even see some of the hunter warriors in the background in that opening scene. Like
not Aztec man.
Yeah. Well, there's that scene where they just flat out show you Japan, mm-hmm. but there was like someone pointed out that you see like the guy who had 200 kills in the background, or like another woman in the bar walking around in the background in that opening scene.
Oh.
But yeah, and she's going around and
that's a clever way to use the actors as well. It's like, hey, you got them playing minor characters, might as well utilize them to like at least, that's a pretty good way to like actually like to actually like show that it's populated in the background. Use the characters you already have right now that are already playing background characters anyways for another scene, and just have them populate the background as well to add more liveliness and to show just how crowded the city is.
Yeah, because it really is crowded. Like, you have people walking on the street, but then you have that little slither of these big ass fucking cars are like passing through. Like, literally in the first 5 minutes of the movie, Alita almost died because she like jumped in the middle of the street while a truck was coming up on her. And there's also, you have these giant Ed 2Os, I think. I forget what they're called.
What, the Centurions?
Yeah, well, they're Centurions in the movie, but they're the things from RoboCop.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I see. Well, I see how that initiative turned out then.
Right, but it's like you.
RoboCop was earned technology.
That's what this was the whole time. But yeah, like the Centurions, which are a movie thing, you do not see anything like that in the manga. But like the Centurions, you have these things just like flat out telling people to get out of the way, and if you don't move, you will die.
Oh, like when she saved that dog?
Yeah, when she saved that dog, and that was kind of a neat way of showing that like Alita had like battle instincts in her, where again, like she sees this thing coming her way and she immediately gets into a battle pose, to the point where like Hugo in the book, if anyone hasn't seen the movie yet but know like the manga, Hugo had to like pull her out of the way and be like, no, you don't have to fight that thing. But you know, and she gets introduced to Hugo, which is a guy who goes around. This is, I'm not getting into the main detail yet, but like what they want you to say is he buys pieces and sells other pieces for bigger profit.
Mm-hmm.
That is what he's doing right now. So he does supply things for Dr. Ito, and Alita is almost immediately smitten by him. And it is kind of a genuinely cute little moment because you're seeing this guy kind of like find this girl attractive, but you're seeing her for like the first time like show flat out attraction towards someone and probably not even really understand what it is at that moment. But they even point out that like Alita physically and mentally, as far as he knows, is a teenager.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because they have that own joke where it's like, you know, your body is all metal, but your brain is a perfectly normal teenage brain, if you consider that normal.
Oh yeah, that's right. When we were talking about her new body. Well, the new body that she's in, like she's like that that the doctor gave her.
Yeah. Yeah, when he was like explaining about the body, because a character played by Jennifer Connelly, I forget her name, but it was like Skin or something. It was like a weird, it sounded like Sharon, but it was like a weird pronunciation of it. But it was the doctor's ex-wife.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but she sees Alita flat out like walks up to her and starts like examining the arm to the point where it kind of creeped her out. Mm-hmm. And that's when he finally decided to tell her like what he is, what that body's for, which we talked about. But you know, she's examining more things about this world, so she knows there are these giant robot things walking around, and that there's a lot of people with cybernetic pieces to the point where it's almost kind of a norm. Mm-hmm. But she looks at something that is a highlight for a lot of people in the movie, and that was Motorball.
Yeah.
Which is like, it's funny because people are like, wow, it's so original and cool, and I'm like, you do realize this is taken from an old movie called Rollerball. And I'm not talking about the early 2000 remake, I'm talking about like the earlier movie called Rollerball, where it was flat out roller skating, holding a ball, and like trying to stop other people from taking it from you.
Holy shit.
But this one was flat out like, yeah, you have these people that they are 100% okay with you flat out killing a dude in the middle of the ring, or like mutilating a guy to like remove the body and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's something that almost immediately Ito in this world is like, yeah, that's not something I want you to worry about. That's not something you need to worry about, is Motorball. Because, you know, another detail was, before he was a doctor, right? But he was also a professional mechanic for Motorball. Mm-hmm. And it was the night that his daughter died that he had just come home. And again, it's another, from what I picked up, it's another method of him blaming Motorball for the death of his daughter.
No, yeah, because like the one person who he enhanced for the game came back after like the match, and I don't know if they explained if they won or lost the match or anything, but he just came back from over there because again he was looking for drugs. Yeah,
and he had enhanced the body with super strength, so he could he was super strong, which is why he was able to kill his daughter in presumably one hit. Mm-hmm. And why he had to create an entirely new weapon just to go out and kill him.
The rocket sledgehammer from Fallout.
Yeah, that's what my friend dad was saying too. He's like, yeah, the rocket hammer. But yeah, here's another thing we can go into now is the doctor. I actually like how they first bring it up. They make you think that the doctor's like some kind of serial killer.
I know, right? When we first saw that, I was like, oh, this guy was bad. I knew he was too good to be true.
Right? Yeah, he comes in and he's like bleeding from the wrist and like, hey doctor, how'd you get that? And he's like, oh, it was an accident from last night. But even in that scene, they show like this woman walking home and then like something kills her. Like horror movie. There's a flat out horror movie scene where they just show like a knife in the air coming down on her. Yeah. And and like they're talking about, oh, there's this guy going around and carving up pretty young ladies, and of course it's like, look, don't scare Alita with saying that stuff, but Alita is flat out like, it's him, isn't it? He's doing that. So on the night he walks out to get it, he walks out to do his thing, Alita follows him, and yes, it looks very bad for him,
Right?
because he is trailing a young woman, and like right when he's about to like take out his hammer and attack her, she stops him and is like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" And almost immediately they are ambushed by a giant dude, and a giant dude, and then like another weird crackhead looking dude.
Oh yeah, the crazy one who had the dual blades, I think.
Yeah.
Or no, was it just a single blade he used?
I think it was just a knife.
A knife?
Yeah, it was like a single blade he was using, because I guess they really did kind of want to fish in, like, there's a real sicko running around here and stuff.
Yeah.
But also, it's like, oh, okay, cool, he found the two serial killers, and he was using the woman as bait, right? Right? And it's like, no, it turns out the woman was also in on it too, and she was the main serial killer. Like, he was the one that killed that woman in the scene before, and like, right on that scene, they're like, oh, now we're gonna kill the both of you, and like, the guy's gonna do whatever he wants to the girl as long as I save the face, because God knows what that woman wanted to do with the face.
I know, which is like, damn. I think she's like one of those trophy hunters.
Right? I just hope it's not like, I'm gonna wear her face by the end of this night or something like that.
Shit.
Yeah, just what was that guy's name? Ed Gein, I think?
Yeah.
But like the actual Leatherhead and Psycho Killer, like, he just does like weird stuff like that. But no, and almost immediately, like, Ito is like, oh shit, Alita, get out of here! And she runs, only to circle back around and like kick like the
crackhead.
Yeah, the crackhead dude down, and just start like pounding into his face. And again, this movie is retaining its PG-13 rating with like not having blood, but they are flat. No one said nothing about blue goo gushing all over the place and showing you the crushed in head of like a robot. And, almost immediately she's attacked by the other woman serial killer.
The praying mantis one.
Yeah, the praying mantis lady, which, God, I don't know what it is about those, but I love people with those abilities. In the first volume of Terraformers, there is a woman with, like, mantis ability, so she also had those kind of things.
Yeah.
And I'm like, God, I don't know what it is about that, but that's so cool to me. But Alita's holding her own against her and kicks her head into a door. But she kicked the head so far into the door that she actually severed the neck. So you just see the head like fall to the ground. No, you see the body fall to the ground and the head still engraved in the door.
Yeah.
But then they're attacked by a character that, from first introduction, a lot of people will not recognize the character, but the character in this movie is a giant guy played by Jackie O'Haley, who was the Freddy Krueger in the Nightmare on Elm Street remake.
No wonder he looks so familiar.
Right? Rorschach in the Watchmen.
Wait!
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that was him.
Damn, the hair.
Right?
The hair. It's the hair, man. I would not have told. Could not. Okay, yeah.
Oh no, I'm talking about Garishka.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, the big guy.
Yeah, that's why. Like, it's like if
Yeah.
it weren't for the fact that he wasn't missing his hair, I would not have recognized him as Rorschach.
Yeah, and it's funny because that actor is like is always like bald. So every time you see him in movies, they almost always have like a weird wig on him. Except for like RoboCop. He was in the RoboCop remake too.
Oh really?
Yeah.
The new one where he gets the new one, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he was in the new one. He was the guy who was like training RoboCop and ended up. Yeah, he was the guy like, my robots don't have real bullets, but I do. That guy who trained him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was him. And in the movie, he's called Garishka, and he's this giant guy who is famous for having that scene in Alita where he shoots the hand tentacles at her, but he doesn't have that thing yet. In the book, though, in the manga, his name is Makaku.
Makaku.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Right? And I guess it was maybe a little too Japanese for them to use. But he in the manga, I'm so glad they didn't put this in the movie. In the manga, he was a cyborg who was addicted to the basically the brain. Like, he was a flat out brain eater, so he would like kill people and eat their brains
What the fuck?
and stuff, right? And in the manga, he's comically huge. Like, he's humongous in the manga. So you just see him, like, his giant hands pick up someone, squeeze the brain on his giant tongue, and then him just, like, bring the tongue back in. Thank God they didn't use that. I'm so glad they didn't use that. But he,
I learn something new every day.
Yep, it's something new and disturbing every day. But in this one, he's a serial killer that... Oh, right. In the manga, his bounty is... He's so dangerous that hunter warriors don't want to get the bounty because they don't think it's worth it. You know, it's a good bounty, but they're like... Every hunter warrior that's gone after him has died. I like how they did it in this world was... He's just... There's someone who's protecting him.
Yeah, so, like just no bounty shows up on him at all whatsoever.
Yeah, even though there are people who know that he is the one like killing women and stuff, and just killing people in general. But he goes in, has a fight with Alita. She crane kicks his arm off, which, God, that was so badass.
I know, dude, and like this is for me. This fight scene just by itself was like where it's like, ooh, this is not, this is I can, this is when like I pretty much like looked at Josh and I'm like thinking like, I think this is like already exceeding expectations for him already.
Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry.
No, I'm just gonna, I just had to scratch my foot.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you dropped something or not. Did you drop? Oh, yeah.
Okay, good.
I found it.
But yeah, wait, what were you saying? It was like...
It was one of these scenes that when I saw it from the movie, I'm like, oh, now I can see why the audience loved this movie and like and why Rotten Tomato gave it the score it did.
Mm-hmm. Because it's fun. Like that entire scene, it should be intense for people, yeah. But it also has that sense of fun that like a Marvel movie has, where you're into the fight and you hope the main character doesn't die. But at the same time, it's just so cool the way it's shot. Mm-hmm. It's having so much fun that you're like, wow, I had more fun than I was scared of this scene, and that really did work out for me.
And the choreography for the fight was just well done as well, like because again you have like this behemoth Garishka just like fighting against like Alita who's small.
Yeah.
And the only thing we know for sure is that she's like trained in them. Like you see, she's agile, like she's really fast. It's like wow, every time like they're fighting, like you just see her ducking and weaving and then trying to find ways to like get around him to like outmaneuver him.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. It's kind of like that one like it's kind of it kind of like works like those fights in MMORPGs, like how to beat the tank or how to beat the tanky boss.
Yeah.
Just keep running around and keep hitting its weak spot when it's when it can't react to you.
Yeah, just keep pecking away at it and stuff. And that was the thing that Ito was in awe too. Is like, how the hell does this little cyborg girl not know an ancient martial art called Panzerkunst? Like he even tells her, you're doing Panzerkunst, and that was an art style thought lost like over 300 fucking years ago. Mm-hmm. And what ends up happening after that is Garishka goes to Jennifer Connelly's character, who we know is working for a shady character by the name of Vector, played by two-time Academy Award winner Mahershala Ali, which given, because a lot of people were mad about how little he was in this movie, given he wasn't shit before, by the time Battle Angel was being filmed, like this was one of those cases where they hired him because he was a good actor. It wasn't until like Battle Angel had wrapped up development that he had won for Moonlight. Mm-hmm. And of course, he was in other movies that he was really good in. He won Best Supporting Actor just a few weeks ago. He was Miles. He was the Prowler in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Wait,
was
really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was Uncle Aaron.
Damn! More revelations by the day. Holy Christ!
Right? Yeah, it's really funny how you find out how star-studded this cast was, and really, it is one of those. It's
just It's pretty much discovering like the cast for Neo Yokio. Just how many famous people were put in that to that show.
Right? And then, but, you know, he goes back to them. Jennifer Connelly's like, okay, I'll fix you. But when Vector comes in and is like, why are you dealing with him? He's like, oh, it's a personal thing I'm trying to do. But look, there's a thing in his head that somebody is like controlling him, or they're using him to an extent. And almost immediately, like, the voice for Garishka, which is very small, and sometimes he talks so gruff you can't even really understand what he's saying, starts speaking like a completely different dude. And it's still Haley Joel, it's still the guy doing the voice, but it's him just like, what happened to Garishka? And they're like, oh shit, it's him. And it's like, who did this to him? And it's like, oh, it was a little cyborg girl. Really? And then I guess he saw it happen, and he's like, yeah, this girl is like the last of a kind. I want you to fix Garishka and bring her to me dead. And it's just like, oh, and also thank you for getting me this close. And when they're trying to figure out what he meant by that, it turned out his connection to Vector had been severed at one point.
Yeah.
And getting this close was able for him to go into Vector now, because there's this character in here named Nova, and in the movie he is basically a ghost. What was it? He had like a nickname, right? It was like the Watcher behind the eyes or something.
I'm forgetting about it right now, but like it's like, but like the thing about him is like he had eyes everywhere, pretty much.
Yeah.
Because like wherever it was, whether it was in the city or through cyborgs or anything, he can pretty much see what everybody else was seeing, because he's pretty much the granddaddy of all. He's like the papa of mechanics, the granddaddy of electronics.
Yeah. Oh my god, we forgot about a major plot element.
What?
We didn't mention Salem at all.
Oh shit, that's true.
So
The floating city.
yeah, but on top of Iron City, there's a flying massive floating city by Salem called Salem, and it is known as the last Sky City because during the war 300 years ago, all of the Sky Cities are taken down, and Salem was the last surviving one.
And you know what's funny? What Salem reminded me of? It reminded me of that flying city from Astro Boy, the movie.
Mm-hmm. Or like, what was it too? The floating cities in Avatar, or like if you watch the last season of Ruby, Atlas, they show that Atlas is actually a floating city.
Not there yet, sadly enough.
I know. Atlas is the place where Weiss came from.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's flat out like a floating city. But yeah, it is like that floating city you see in a lot of manga, and I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, Yukito was inspired by Astro Boy, because I mean there's a lot of Astro Boy type elements in here, but it's very much its own animal.
At the very least, it didn't have the butt machine guns. That would have been awkward.
Oh god, no. Especially since like apparently this version of Alita was too sexy for people.
What?
And he's and James Cameron is a misogynist for making her that sexy.
Read the manga, people. It's pretty much the same appearance.
Yeah, and also the manga Alita is super sexy. Like
I think I have a picture for this, but go on.
yeah, she's like super sexy with like butt and boobs. And not saying that Rosa Salazar isn't pretty. I mean, she's a gorgeous young woman, but like her body is not that filled out. And Alita is so badass that is like the I'm not getting.
That's like the last thought on you. That's like the last thought on your when you see this character, pretty much.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like I'm not getting turned on by this character because I think she's physically sexy. I'm getting turned on because she's a fucking badass. Like but yeah, what ends up happening is sorry. Anyway, Hugo is. Right, sorry. So, Salem is a city that is floating in the air, and a lot of people from Iron City want to go up there. They think it might be a better living. So
I just ran across this just to like...
Oh, I love that they put Captain Marvel in there.
Yeah. Oh, but continue.
But, yeah, and Hugo wants... Alita's new friend, wants to be one of those people who live up there too. He just needs to get 10 million credits or 10 million. Yeah, no, they said credits in the movie.
That's what they call it. And I like the fact that they go by the credit system. Because like, why invent a new like currency or anything when we can just say credits? It's just such a universal term for so many like things you can buy with it.
Yeah, then when you see the movie though, it really is like a tube with like coins in it.
Mm-hmm.
But it is flat out like he wants to go up there. And the thing that's really interesting is you really do see how young and naive Alita is, because people are like, yeah, Iron City is a shithole and I want to leave Iron City. And Alita's like, wow, this place is beautiful. Why would you want to be anywhere but here?
Mm.
And it's really because this is a whole new world for her and she doesn't see the ugliness even after getting attacked by 3 serial killers.
Yep,
She
and
doesn't
then the
see
struggle,
it.
and then like you mentioned, like just the struggles of the city as well. It's a crowded city, most likely probably overpopulated, lots of crime,
Yeah, horrible pay.
horrible. Well, horrible
Yeah.
pay. That's true.
Yeah, a guy couldn't pay for his own figure. A guy literally had to pay a doctor with oranges and is like, when I get overtime next week, hopefully I will get overtime and pay back. Yeah, like it's a really bad living situation, but she sees this beauty in there that's just, it almost makes you kind of more, I mean, us as a viewing audience are automatically enamored by this city. But again, I also found myself kind of like, are they going to go to Salem by the end of the movie? Oh no? Okay. You know what? It's fine.
It's funny because like Salem, when I first saw it, reminded me of Tron.
Yeah.
The city, their city and everything. Like I was thinking, like, oh man, what if like everything's just like hyper LED lights and sleek and futuristic.
It's the city from the Ghost in the Shell movie, but it's nothing but like holograms flooding the streets.
That's exactly what I was imagining Salem to be like.
Yeah, it's just like holograms everywhere. Or like, did you ever see Blade Runner 2049?
Oh, I need to see it.
There's like a part where he's not talking to, but he sees like a giant billboard for like a virtual mate, and it's just this giant lady like coming down on him and talking directly at him. It's like that in Salem. It's like that obnoxious.
Oh wow,
but
that's funny.
From what we know with who lives up there, Salem may not be much of a paradise either. But moving on, we do get another scene where Hugo takes Alita to Motorball because Hugo knows a lot of people who work over there, so he can go in and see free games and stuff. Mm-hmm. And that is, again, we do get to see what this sport is that a lot of people do say is the best scene in the movie. It's these people basically racing in a giant skate track, and
it was definitely hyped up in the trailers. Some of the trailers as like the movie got close to release date.
Yeah, even going as far that some posters, some online marketing even have it in the motorball gear.
Yeah.
There's a Funko Pop of the motorball gear. But it's really cool how you're seeing people like skating around and flat out dismembering other players who are these are all, from what I get, is these are fully cybernetic people who pull their heads off and put them on like completely different bodies that have wheels and other type of weaponry on it. And
you know what? Now I remember what I commented when I first saw the scene from Motorball.
What?
Because when I was watching how they play Motorball and everything, I was like talking to my friend. I turned around, I was like, dude, it's humanoid IGPX.
Yeah,
it's the IGPX of the Alita world.
Except there's no giant robots in there. I mean, there's giant people robots, but it's not like mecha.
Yeah, it's not mechas. It's actual like cyborgs or full-on androids fighting each other.
Yeah, and you have and they actually they do the thing that a lot of people had an issue with the movie. They introduce a character played by a big actor, but it's only an introduction. But we get to see a glimpse of, in this world, his name is Jashogan, which was that guy in the golden armor.
Ooh, really?
Yeah. He's a player. In the manga, he is the best motorball player ever, even to the point where he's so good that he handicaps himself, where he will remove one of his arms and give in the starting ring, will have 3 players surround him who have permission to attack as soon as the game starts. So once the game starts, these people can immediately attack him And if he can fight his way out of it, then he'll be able to finish the game. If not, then, he lost. But that almost never happened.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, because I remember they like mentioned him, like they showed him once, and I'm like, it's Blake Griffin.
Yeah, it's the dude from it's Jai Courtney, who was in Suicide Squad as Captain Boomerang. He was
Yeah, no wonder. Dude, somebody familiar.
yeah, he was Kyle Reese in the Terminator Genesis. Yeah, he was a lot of people, and it's interesting though because knowing that like Josh Gunn is such a undefeated player, and they even say that he is one of the bigger champions in the world. It's funny that we're introduced to him losing a match.
Wait, he lost that match?
He lost that match. Remember, it was that Korean guy, or it was that Asian guy with the grind whips.
Yeah.
And I think that was one of the other reasons why, what's his name, killed him, because he was sponsoring Jashugan, and he made Jashugan lose, so he was just taking out a potential opponent for...
A potential like rival that could like dethrone him if anything. I couldn't find the picture. Damn it.
But yeah, it's a potential rival and all that. But yeah, but that's also when Jennifer Connelly's like, hey, I want those weapons that guy has. So immediately while Alita and Hugo are talking, this dude pulls up by the name of Tanji. It's so funny because you have a Colombian actor named Tanji, and they couldn't even keep Hugo's name as Hugo, which I don't really think is a racial specific name. But yeah, it's funny because they go, they're called like, oh, we got a job, and it's like, hey, I'll talk to you later, and then immediately we see these guys in like hoodies and masks like jump that motorball player and like pull him into a truck, remove his arm, and like dump him back out.
And you know what's funny about that scene though? Because like before they jumped him and everything, I just like the fact how like just how they show that this guy's actually like an alpha or something.
Yeah.
Because when you see him come out of the club, you just see him like grabbing a woman like over his shoulder, and there's like two other women on his sides as well.
Yeah.
When he's walking, I'm like, okay, I see. He's like the hot shot.
Yeah, not very hot for long. Well, he was hot for a minute when they like flat out threw like a flame grenade at him and
Oh
stuff.
shit, that's right, when they lit him up.
Yeah, they like lit him up. They like tried to tie him with these bikes and like shocked the hell out of him and started like ripping him up. But yeah, we are then introduced to another scene after that where they go to the famous Kansas bar. Which, do you want to take over? Because I'm getting tired.
Yes, thank goodness. You talked to me right as I finished chewing.
Sorry.
No, I said thank goodness, because like if you told me to talk while I was still like chewing, I might have choked right there.
Say something. Okay.
But yeah, so once I go to the bar scene and everything, for me, that's pretty much like that bar scene and everything is pretty much when Alita she's made her like point to Ito and everything, saying that she wants to be a hunter warrior just like him.
Right. Right. She wanted to be a hunter warrior, and she found the berserker body, which he refused to put on her.
Did she find the berserker body at that point, or was it after she decided to be a hunter warrior?
Well, she wanted to become a hunter warrior, and he said no. But remember, there was that scene where she went out with Hugo and them, showed them the spaceship, went in, took the body, and said, "This body will help us fight. We'll fight Grishka when he comes back for me." And he refused not to because it's like, look, the berserker body is a dangerous weapon. That's why the ship replied to you. That's why it was responding to you and stuff. And for the reason of what the berserkers have done in the past, I will never unite your body. I will never reunite you with this body.
Yeah.
Which she angrily...
Oh yeah, when she smashes... Okay, now I know what now the sequences and everything.
Yeah. And she goes to the factory and applies to be a hunter warrior. Okay, so there we go. We're caught up.
Now we're caught up. So yeah, and that's when they go into the bar scene and everything, where all the other hunter warriors are pretty much hanging around and everything. So pretty much what she the reason why she goes into the bar and everything is she's kind of like pretty much going there for like just to ask for help.
Yeah.
Cause she knows that Grishka's gonna be coming back for him and for her and Ito now that they like she's defeated him like already like once already.
Yeah.
And she's pretty much going there to ask the other hunter warriors to like help her defend the clinic and everything as well.
Yeah.
And as we're pretty much shown in everything, hunter warriors, they're not the police of again, this is the city. They're not the police of the city. They're more like mercenaries who are hired to like just hunt criminals, and that's pretty much it. They're not like the law of the land.
No, because the land has no law enforcement.
Rather than the centurions, but they're just there to like mind their own business.
Yeah, and they're there to help hunter warriors deal with giant master threats. So like the hunter warriors are there only to take care of murderers. Like they don't stop thieves. That's why in the beginning of the movie Ito is operating on a guy that Hugo had stolen body parts from, and he says like, "Yep, these punks are ripping me to pieces," and the Centurion just walks on by because really to Zalem that's not a high threat, it's murder. They want to stop murder, and the hunter warriors, they're not these heroic people. They're bounty hunters. They're sleazy.
Yeah. And pretty much like that's pretty much you get the atmosphere and this is like where one of the cringy things comes again because she starts talking like she starts referring to them as her hunter warrior brothers and everything. So she's like I would call upon you guys to take on the helm of responsibility and help me defend against this new threat and everything.
Yeah, I heard you were great, legendary warriors. I'm like, dude, even Ito said that they were nothing more than mercenaries. Like, where the fuck is this coming from? It was so cringy, and that scene goes on for a little too long. But then there's backstory for that scene.
Yeah.
So apparently, when James Cameron pitched the idea to make a movie to Yokito, the creator of the manga, he's like, I picture Alita as this character, this Joan of Arc type character who goes in and rallies up the troops. And the creator is immediately like, no, Alita is not Alita. Alita is a Ronin. And after reading, and he's like, right, you're right. I'm reading this manga, and she doesn't lead an army of people. She only looks out for herself and fights when people around her are in danger. But she's never outward looking for help.
Yeah.
In that scene in the manga, the person who's doing that talking and preaching is Ito. Because Ito is the one that like got scared after Alita had her first run-in with Makaku. He's the one that gives her the berserker body, and when they go to the bar to ask for reinforcements, Alita's just there sitting in the background unimpressed by everyone around her because that's the kind of character the guy wanted to make. And that scene is basically James Cameron and Robert Rodriguez making fun of themselves for trying to turn the character into something she wasn't.
Yeah.
And that's why everyone in the room laughed at her.
And what was that guy's name? What was that guy's name with the fancy back?
Zapan. Who had the Mayan calendar on his back, even though it's like a British actor.
Yeah.
It's Ajax from Deadpool.
Yeah. No, him for sure I recognize. Him for sure I recognize because when I was like, it's Francis.
Yeah, it's Francis. Right. So what else?
So Japan, like when Alita does this, that's when Japan comes out, like him being like the again another hot shot if anything as well. It's like come on guys, it's like don't you think we deserve to give this girl a chance, like in a mocking way if anything.
Yeah.
And like for him, his call to fame is not only like that he's like a pretty like dedicated hunter warrior because I remember earlier in the scene like when he saw Japan like hunting for his prey, they said like he's always laser focused whenever he's honing in on his prey.
Yeah.
But he also has this this legendary blade which is pretty much a molecular Damascus steel blade.
Yeah, which oh man, it's so funny how big the movie talked that blade up because. Going back to the manga, the blade is actually made in the 3rd volume by her motorball coach.
Yeah?
The Damascus blade originally was 2 twin blades that got damaged during the motorball match. So the guy melted it down into a blade that looks a little bit more like the one in the movie, but it was made specifically for motorball. And in the movie, it was very much a legendary weapon that we know after Alita uses it later on in the movie, it was made specifically for the Berserkers.
Yeah.
But it was a very powerful blade, and I even love in that scene where he's like, and I am Zapan, wielder of the legendary Damascus blade. And I'm like, yep, there we go with the Kunji dialogue again.
Yeah, because again, the reason why this Damascus blade is like so special again, like Damascus steel is a thing that does exist here on this planet.
Ooh, I didn't know that. Cool.
Yeah, so Damascus steel, the thing that's special about it is that for the longest time, I think it was like it was produced in the Middle East. But for the longest time, whenever they produced Damascus steel, it was a mystery as to how they pretty much developed the material and everything. Really strong. You can make it ridiculously thin if you had like the proper like ways to like thin it out and everything. And the thing that's really special about Damascus steel is that it actually shows some properties similar to like nanotubes when you like do like nano carbon fibers and everything.
Oh.
So for something that was made like in pretty like ancient times, it had some pretty advanced like structure to it as well. Now, in Alita Battle Angel, the Damascus, what's so special about that blade is not only the structure, but how like just its ability to cut through anything. Because the way they describe the blade, it's so keen that actually to the point where it's like about like an atom slam length thick.
Oh.
So it's a really sharp blade.
Yeah. And we do see how clean the blade is. Well, later on we see a dude, not a robot, so the movie did jump around rated R in a few scenes, but we do see him slice the dude clean in half with blood spurting out only a second after, because that's how clean the cut was. But yeah, he's mocking her in the bar and introducing her to other hunter warriors, which one is a guy who had like 200 confirmed kills. Another one was a girl like called Screw On Head that I was only there to be introduced for like a scene later.
Yep.
But then we have another guy
With the dogs?
Yeah, Murdoch. And the only reason I remember this is because he's an actual manga character who shows up actually way later in the book.
Yeah?
Yeah. So I wouldn't have remembered his name if it wasn't like I just saw that character right now. But it's funny because it's Murdoch being played by an actor named Jeff Fahey, which a lot of people will recognize him as the white politician in Machete. The guy who was helping, the guy who hired Machete. Yeah, that's who. And he was also if you saw Planet Terror, he was also the guy who was the owner of the barbecue shop who had the delicious rib seasoning that his brother was trying to snake away from him.
I don't think I've seen Planet Terror though.
Oh, that's the one with like the zombie and the stripper with the machine gun leg? No?
No, I haven't seen that movie.
Oh, yeah, it's another Robert Rodriguez movie, but it's another one of those, Robert Rodriguez snuck in another one of his acting friends. But yeah, and everyone's just like, yeah, look, like you're a little girl, this isn't really your place, and Zapan tries to make a move on her, and she punks him out so hard by just like beating him up and like throwing him against the vending machine and like kicking his blade directly at him, and just humiliating him like right in front of everyone. And
I like the clapback she did as well, because like she just started calling him like a pretty boy and everything.
Yeah.
Like, dude, Alita's a savage when she went. At the very least, they got that bit right. And just the savagery that Alita can release to other people.
Oh right, yeah. She was like, yeah. I don't know how scared I should be of a guy who spends all his money on his face. And at that moment, like Alita like says, okay, if you guys really want to have a piece of me, let's have a fight, like a full-on bar brawl, and see who's the last one standing. And she just starts this giant fight amongst everyone. And I love how they end that scene, because like Ito walks in and is like telling people to stop. He's like, stop everyone, or no more free repairs.
Oh yeah,
stop. And he's like ready to like start criticizing her, like, you know, this is stupid what you're doing. But right at that moment, Garushka comes in, knocking out 3 guys in the middle of the bar. And I really do like I really do like what is it? The reaction they have where they see him and they're like, "Oh God, it's Garishka," and it's like, "Yup." With some new upgrades, then he shoots the grind whips at them and like kills two dudes, and everyone is just like, one, it's he doesn't have a bounty on his head, so why bother? And two, they're scared because he's bigger than he usually is.
Yep.
And he had those creepy ass finger weapons that like even they probably haven't seen that unless they watched Motorball, then they've seen it.
But yeah, and just again, pretty good way to like just represent the character because like just the aura, just the aura he does and everything. You see like that something's changed from him as well because like more bigger than before, got the new weapon, and more importantly, Garishka's usually like one of those people like who doesn't really make a public appearance as much unless he has to for a murder or anything.
Yeah.
So him actually going into like hunter warrior territory and like actually like hunting down Alita.
Yeah.
That was like a really big like proclamation right there with the water.
Yeah, like again. Oh, thank you. Yeah, like again, it's. Yeah, you're right. I actually forget he doesn't live on the surface. So when he pops up, he's in the hunter warrior territory, and he's just scaring everyone because they're like, well, we don't know what to do. We don't want to kill a guy because it could be considered as killing an innocent. But also at the same time, this dude who does that? Who goes into a bar, kills three of our own, and just doesn't even wink an eye? Like, no, we can't do anything. And again, there's not a bounty on his head, so we can't do anything. And the only... I hope this movie is on that website. But the only one to step up against him is a little dog.
Yep. The little dog that Alita rescued from the Centurion.
Yeah, and it's like, so this is the only one with enough courage. It's such an innocent little thing. And like kills him. And they don't show it, but like, you just hear
the blood splatter and everything. And then Murdoch, you just see his facial expression change.
I love that. That was such a nice little detail for that character because it's like, Murdoch is a guy who has 4 cybernetic dogs that one of his big problems as a hunter warrior is you need to bring in the head of the person that you kill, and he never leaves enough to collect the bounty.
Yeah, like it's, by the time like he's done pretty much killing whoever he's hunting, it's pretty much been deformed to the point where it's not recognizable anymore.
Yeah, and yeah, you just have this look on his face like, that son of a bitch. Like basically the look of the audience is like, that son of a bitch killed a dog, and he smashes a hole right under the cancer spot, jumps in and says, if you're really man enough to fight me, then fight me on my own territory. And that's when we do get a quick little exposition. It's like a flat out paragraph in the manga, but it's a quick little exposition that it's a city underneath the city, and this is where he was born, this is where he grew up, and it wasn't until Nova came and gave him all those upgrades that he became a servant of Nova. But it's funny because in the movie he's so like animalistic and crude sounding, and it isn't until that scene where he starts speaking with like nobility, and the guy who did this to me is the person who is shaping your destiny, Nova. And I'm like, Jesus, where did this dialogue come from? And
then, like you were mentioning as well, a lot of this thing that the movie has to do as well, like it kind of draws into like a lot of parallels with other things, like like Dante's Inferno and all those things, like like how you have a paradise city at the top, which is pretty much at this point could be thought of as heaven. And then you got the Middle Earth where like all the commoners live and everything, and then you go straight to the lower levels of hell where like nobody even on the surface, like it's on the back of their heads, but nobody ever like consciously thinks about it. Because you gotta remember, like it's a kind of like the boogeyman in the closet, like it's there, but it's never like on like in prying eyes where people like get to see it often. So like you've got to remember like there's these different levels, and I like how he said like again that little monologue that he had in the movie as well. Was like welcome to my hell, where he's like talking like welcome to my hell. From here on out, the deeper you go, the more you'll experience the anguish that this city hides.
Yeah, and while they're fighting, which again is a magnificent scene of him shooting these tentacle things at her and her blocking them, and that scene is funny because, and I will bring it up. I will bring it up right now. But to them, I mean, yeah, I will bring it up right now. Where you see that scene of like the tentacles coming around her, and you think she's about to like just barely get through all the tentacles intact, but he slices her up into pieces, like he minces her, only leaving like her body and one arm, yeah, intact. And when I love that scene because when she falls on the ground, she's just like, with perfect gymnastic skills, is only standing up on like one hand.
Yeah.
And jumps back up to try to attack him, and he grabs her by the arm. And actually,
wasn't it by the hair?
It was by the hair, yeah. I'm like, if it was by the arm, then she wouldn't be able to do the thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, he grabs her by the hair, and he actually said something. Again, I saw the movie. I don't know if I told you, but I did see the movie twice.
Yeah. You told me you were gonna go for the premiere for like an early screening.
Yeah. Oh, okay then. Yeah, so I went to the early screening and then I went again like a week after the movie came out, I think. But yeah, there's a thing he tells her saying like, I'm going to rip your arms off and hang you on a pendant around my neck so I can just hear you every morning when I wake up begging for mercy. That's the thing in the manga. And they actually show an example of that in the manga where it really is just like a giant Alita being pierced by little pendant thorns screaming. So if you really want to see what he was saying, it's in the manga as like an example. Yeah. But I thought it was really cool that they kept that detail in of like, I want to turn you into bling.
No, yeah, because again, Gorishko, before the first time, he really did get his ass handed to him when Alita caught him by surprise. Yeah. And in a sense kind of humiliated him in front of his master. So for him, this is like this is like more like a really big grudge match and kind of like a way to redeem himself.
Yeah. And also the reason why Makaku in the comic wanted to do that to her is because the big difference with Makaku and Garishka is Makaku was actually in love with Alita. And this is flat out what you just said, a grudge match with Garishka. Garishka is like, this little flea freaking insulted me in front of my master and made him doubt in me, so I am going to clean you out right now. But but again, just tapping around that R rating, he says that is the only mercy I will give you, and she says flat out, fuck your mercy, plunges her one good arm into his eye socket.
And then just removes it to leave it like impaled there.
Yeah. And like, he lets go of her in pain and then...
This is actually an important scene because right when she got dismembered, this is when she has like a bit of an echo of her memory of her past training. Because remember like she remembers. Was this the one where she remembered the fight on the moon, or was it when they were doing the gravity training?
It was when they were doing the gravity training. It was the very first fight with Garishka where she remembered the moon.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, when she remembered the Pentakunst.
Yeah.
But yeah, in this scene when she when she actually laid there like just kind of almost like pretty much dismembered, she had an echo of a memory of her past training with Michelle Rodriguez. Now I know who that is.
Yeah.
And about her, like, pretty much her mentor telling her, like, remember, in every fight, you've got to do everything you can to survive. Even if you've got to claw your way or do whatever you can, you have to do everything you can to survive. And that's when she decides to, like, punch his eye.
Yeah. And at that moment, when he was, because there was really nothing she can do by that point, at that moment, Hugo and Ito come down, and Hugo, like, throws one of his little fire grenades at him. And then also you see Murdoch's 4 dogs come down and start attacking him. And when they finally are able to chase him off, he calls the dogs back and he says, he didn't like dogs. I hate that.
Yeah. Dude, that was all funny.
Yeah. So
and mind you, he was the only one from the Hunter Warriors who actually came down to help Alita in that scene.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was a noble thing too. It was, he killed a dog, and I want to kill him for that. But he at that moment, Ida realizes how dangerous, how destructive Alita is, and just how dangerous Garishka is, and whoever did that to Garishka is going to come back even harder now. Mm-hmm. So he gives her her wish and puts her in the berserker body, which at that moment we realized that Alita is not really a teenage girl. She's like a woman in her younger 20s. Because like the body filled her out a little bit. Again, not as sexy as people are complaining about, but she had a little bit of chest there and her butt
If
was a
anything,
little bigger.
and it's pretty much a cool thing about the technology, because even Ito had a hard time explaining it.
Yeah.
Because when Alita finally came to and she noticed she was in the berserker body, he was trying his best to describe what was happening to her. Because remember how like the little plasma was coming out of her hands like every time? It's like, yeah, it's like plasma that your body emits. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't know, it's your body. It's like, you're the one doing it.
Yeah, you didn't exactly come with an instruction manual. But yeah, so at that moment, like, they realize, Vector and them realize, like, okay, Garishka is a letdown, so we need to find another way to get Alita. So I'm going to call her boy toy, Hugo, who owes me the money to go to Salem, and, use him that way. So he calls Hugo, gets some junk, Alita, like, meets him, and is basically saying, if you only need 10 million credits, I can get that no problem with my Hunter Warrior money. Or I can even give you my heart. Which, there's a really interesting thing that my friend pointed out that I didn't catch on either times, but my friend was pointing out how, from the beginning, Hugo liked Alita, yes, but it also came off more as, this girl is probably going to be worth a lot of money, so I need to get on her good side so I can scrap her later. And the only reason my friend picked up on that is apparently there's a scene where Tanji says, if you had just jacked the bitch when you had time, then we wouldn't be in this situation. Like, that was when he wanted to quit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, I didn't pick up on that.
I did not pick up at all.
Yeah. So I don't know, maybe Hugo was targeting her from the very beginning, and that scene where she was willing to give her super intelligent heart, which again is the only reason she can use that berserker body.
Yep. Because remember, that thing can power like all of Iron City for years to come.
Yeah.
Technology, man, the pinnacle of innovation.
Right. So I want them to go more into detail with and I'm really hoping because by Friday when I get paid, I'm just gonna say fuck it and buy like the last 2 deluxe editions I need. But I really do hope they go into more detail on technology, because yeah, we know that they were probably better suited than Zalem, and probably whatever advancement Zalem has now is probably because of them.
And the way remember a lot of what Dr. Ito told about Alita regarding the what was it? URM, what did it stand for? Republic of Mars.
United Republic of Mars.
The United Republic of Mars is like, again, going into the thing of like colonizing other worlds. I love the idea. But the fact that these are technologies that were developed independent of Earth's technology and everything. So you've got the scientists of Earth, and you've got the scientists who are working in Mars and everything.
Yeah.
So these are technologies that pretty much got developed in a totally different environment, a totally different entirely different planet, mind you. So when decided to like pretty much take the fight to Earth and like fight against them, you were pretty much getting to see like 2 different ways of it. It was pretty much like colonialism all over again.
Yeah.
where you got like imperial powers fighting against like independent nations that haven't kept touch with the world in ages as well. And everything that had to offer was pretty much the pinnacle of what they were researching. So the bodysuits and everything, the weaponry, the training, the androids.
Yeah.
And which is again a really neat detail that I like, because when they put the berserker body on Alita, when she came through, it didn't maintain its original form. It actually conformed to a form that she would find best suited for combat.
Yeah, because they even pointed out in the manga too, it's a male body, and they kept that in the movie too. It's a very bulky body compared to the little dainty Alita. So when they put the body on her, it really did start slimming her down and filling out the proportions to the way Alita saw herself. And we do now know that Alita is a lot older than we thought she was.
Yep.
So and that was the really cool thing. And again, I want another movie so bad. And the movie did break even, but they are saying they would like maybe another 100 or 2 to really break even. Which with Captain Marvel and Us coming out soon, and I'm talking about that horror movie, not Me and You coming out.
Dude, that would have been such a bad thing had you not explained it. It'd be like, scandal in Busted Musket production. Danny's actually a hardcore yaoi fan.
Yeah, we're making a yaoi film that will get a lot of buzz. God, I'm so excited for us though. I already bought my ticket for that movie. What?
That sentence was so funny.
Anyway, that Jordan Peele movie I'm really excited for, goddammit.
Oh, so is that who's directing us now?
Ooh. Jordan Peele does. Have you seen Key and Peele skits? He does a lot of gay.
I know.
A lot of gay.
I know. I remember the gay marriage one. That's the one that I really liked.
Oh, I love the gay marriage one. There's also that one where it's those two guys that are just like, come on, you're looking me in the face, and they make you think they're like jerking each other off, but they're really doing like hula hooping.
Oh yeah.
but it's really like 2 minutes of, oh, just look me in the face, man. Okay, I'm looking you in the face. It's just like, yeah, that's right. Don't drop the hula hoop. But yeah, oh yeah, I forgot about the gay marriage one. But no, have you seen the trailer for that movie though? Us?
Yes.
Oh my god, it's so good.
Dude, when I first saw it, I thought it was a sequel to the
Get Out?
No, remember I haven't watched that one.
Oh, okay.
To what was it? Purge.
Oh, The Purge?
Because of the mask and everything.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, until they're like, oh, they're doppelgangers. It's like, oh, okay. But yeah, so back to the movie, because we're getting there now. I didn't realize that. But he says no. He says, no, look, I'll find a way to get the money back. But also, by the way, Vector says you should go and apply for a motorball. Play on the starter league. He thinks you could do really well. And Alita, does go on it. And surprisingly, I guess Ito just stopped fighting with her because he built her armor, he built her roller skates. And is basically just saying, look, remember, do not wreck this body because I can't fix it for you.
Yeah, because again, ERM technology, this is something that's like, even though it was something that was made 300 years ago, because that's how long the war apparently was.
Yeah.
It still was too advanced for Ito to figure out what was going on with it.
Yeah.
And when he said that, I was like literally thinking like, shit, man, she really can't fuck up now. Now the stakes have really gone up.
Yeah, like if they chop her arm off, like that's it. If they rip it into pieces the way she did in the daughter Alita's body, then she's fucked. And it doesn't help that actually we do have a little bit of clips from this. I don't think I'm gonna be able to implement it because I don't have a capture card, but we do at least have some dialogue. But it doesn't help the fact that this wasn't Alita joining Motorball. This is a flat out setup.
Yep.
Hi there. I'm as a warrior. Sure to see the whole film in theater.
When you come back right here.
Sure to see the whole film.
Sorry, that's
in
James
theaters
Cameron
soon.
talking.
It'll be a big screen experience you won't want to miss.
You go in there, you race.
99. Oh yeah, that's the only thing to remember.
You wear all
Yeah,
these
it's
hats.
funny because in the movie, there's no mention of 90. In the book, there's no mention of 99. Only that she really likes that number. But we actually have a real name in the manga by this point.
Yeah.
And yeah, Alita got whitewashed. Well, Latino washed.
Latino watch.
Because her name is Yoko. And the cool thing about the Alita manga, which is why not a lot of people are attacking this movie, is there's so many different races in the Alita manga. Like, that's why a lot of people aren't bothered by Christoph Waltz being a German actor, is because for all you know, he could have come from like Asian heritage that got married into that family.
No, yeah, and again, this is something that sometimes a lot of manga, this goes on both sides as well. Both when it comes to adapting manga, and then when manga comes to representing other races as well, is that a lot of the times whenever they get the actors to like represent from other nationalities, like sometimes like they only do just Japanese, even though like the story based like somewhere in Europe or like somewhere else, like South America's, or like pretty much you get what I'm getting at as well. Like it's a problem on both ends. Sometimes it happens.
Yeah.
Or like the manga adaptations talking about like, oh yeah, like this is like we're talking about like an instance like Attack on Titan, for example. Like those are all nothing but like European countries that they were going in.
Yeah.
But when the movie came out, it was like didn't seem like it.
Yeah, it was like all Japanese actors, even going as far as just saying that this is a full-on post-apocalyptic event and not something that just happened in this one area.
Yeah.
But okay, sorry. But yeah, so
And that's not something that's like fault for the creator. It's just them using their creativity from like what they have like available for them as well.
yeah.
And it's like, a little bit easier for them as well because like, can you imagine how hard it would be to like get somebody from Germany to play a German citizen, or like get somebody from France and then having them all fly over at the same time to meet and everything.
Yeah, or find a Asian actress who could give a performance to the level that Alita can. And I'm not saying they can't, but I really do think they casted Rosa Salazar because she already had the eyes they wanted, and she was a much more expressive actor. And that's and plus it's a Latino director putting his own casting in it, and it's great casting. But anyway, sorry. So like, back to it.
Remember, if you wreck this body, I can't fix it.
Yes, I know.
Tonight is not a game.
Contenders, take your marks.
It is a hunt.
And here comes the rookie.
Kill a girl called Alita.
Alita, it's a setup. You gotta get out of there. They're gonna kill you.
Which ones?
All of them.
Go easy on me, guys.
Sure, kid. No worries.
I like how they're not even working together.
I know.
God damn.
Motorball was such a good scene.
Right?
Oh yeah, when they get out the arena and they see the crowd still cheering them on. Like, oh my god, they're first for Motorball, they're actually leaving the arena.
I love how there's not even like, oh, that's automatically a disqualification. It's like, holy shit, what's happening next? It's like, do you guys have cameras? But yeah, the one thing they didn't put in the clip, and one thing I didn't even notice in the first go around, but there's even a part in that movie where they don't even have the ball anymore. But she's using the ball, and it's cool because the reason the game is called Motorball is because the ball is actually motorized. Like, they're able to ride on the ball if they can.
Yep.
Which is why you, if you look at the scene, I'll put a link in there for you guys because I don't think I'll be able to implement it. If you look at that scene, Alita is like riding the ball at one point, doing a handstand, and then brings it down on the dude. But it's like the ball, explained in the manga too, it's flat out a motorized thing that it has little like bowling ball holes where you go and you determine the direction.
Oh yeah, and then I don't know if this was actually planned by the one who made Motorball or anything.
Yeah.
But the sport, kind of looking at it and everything, especially like when you saw like Hugo and the rest like of them playing it on their own.
Yeah.
When I first saw the sport, it actually reminded me of an ancient Aztec sport that was played.
Oh.
Where like I forgot the exact name of it as well. But here comes that native knowledge coming back.
Right.
But the sport, pretty much what you have to do in the sport is you pretty much choose the Aztecs. In order to settle rituals and everything, they would select their best warriors into this field, and there would be this hoop on the wall where you can you pretty much have to put a ball in through it.
Yeah, basically, if you've seen Road to El Dorado, it's that game.
Yeah, so pretty much the way that would work is like they have to wear padding on their. They can only use their elbows and knees to hit the ball, so no kicking and no holding the ball.
Yeah.
And the point of the game was to pretty much get the rubber ball onto the hoop. And the winners to pretty much, get to sacrifice the losers in the next ritual.
Yeah. Fun in games until someone has to do a ritualistic sacrifice. But yeah, and that was the thing too with like Motorball. It is flat out like it's roller derby too. It's like a really extravagant roller derby cap that when you hit that it doesn't matter if you hit the finish line last, as long as you have the ball, you win.
Yep, and you're surviving. Well, as long as you have the ball and you're surviving.
Yeah, and you're surviving. Like, again, and people die in this sport, and in this case, it was a trap set up by Vector to basically kill Alita, and they hide a bunch of factory security guards and hunter warriors to like do the dirty work. And in that scene, you see them like there's one scene you see where like a guy has these giant tentacle arms that can grab Alita by the head, and then on his wrist is a buzzsaw that tries to go down on her, and then you have like another guy. They didn't show it in the scene, but you have another guy where he has like a giant flame cannon that is flat out firing fireballs at her. And there's again, this is like a 5-minute, 6-minute scene of like Alita trying to survive, but at the same time, Zapan, being a little saucy boy about his ass kicking in the scene earlier, is targeting Hugo for some reason. And he
Yeah, because at that point he's trying to get revenge on Alita.
Yeah, and his one of his lackeys asked like, "Are we gonna kill him?" And he's like, "No, we're gonna do something much worse to her." And basically, Hugo, being 100% in love with Alita, goes to tell his friend Tanji that he's done with like the scrapping business. Right in the middle of them scrapping someone.
Yeah.
And at that moment, Zapan shows up, is like saying, "Oh, what would your sweet little cyborg angel say if he saw this? If she saw this?" And then he just like chops the dude's head off, and is like, "Oh, looks like you're in trouble now," and frames him for that murder, kills his friend Tanji in a really gory scene.
Yep.
But now it's just a flat out like, you killed someone, the factory wants you, I have to take you in now. And it's this really intense chase scene of like horror movie level too, where this guy's flat out sprinting and parkouring off the walls, and he sees Zapan just like, "I'm gonna get you." I always do.
And that's what I honestly surprised about Hugo. I was like, holy shit, man, this guy can parkour.
Yeah, I bet you would have to. I mean, how often did any of his little scrapping attempts not result in him having to run away? But yeah, man, that guy was just like flipping around, and maybe that was really him doing it, because even now the guy who plays him is an unlisted actor, so I think this might be one of his first things. But yeah, it's him like jumping up, using like little tricks to survive, and he calls Alita. He calls Alita during the match, basically saying like, "Yeah, look, I'm getting attacked, he's after me, I need help." And right at that moment, she's still dealing with the freaking guys in the game trying to kill her. By this point, the ball went out of bounds, and they're not even trying to get the ball back.
Yep.
And you just see like scenes of like Alita jumping over people, having other people crash into each other. There's that scene where she ripped a dude's arm off and then swerved all the way around the other big dude in the room and like brings the arm down on his face. And yeah, she ends up going out of bounds, which the audience is cheering, and the announcer's like, "Holy shit, we have never seen this happen before."
He's like, what's gonna happen next?
Yeah, I wonder if they actually did know what happened next, but yeah.
Because can you imagine how awkward that is? You buy tickets to Motorball and then just like all the contenders just leave.
Yeah, and it's like the most exciting one too, because you're not even watching the ball game anymore. You're watching like a murder happen, and you're like, "God, I wonder what's gonna happen next." Hey, don't leave, you assholes! I want to see what happens next. But another thing too is like one of those dudes get Hellboy 2. Or like this typical horror movie killed, where she ends up wrapping one guy in a chain and throwing him in like a grinder.
Oh yeah.
And then another girl gets like pulled with him. But when she goes to try to save Hugo, who's hiding out in the church after getting get his shoulder blade like crushed by Zapan.
Yeah.
Zapan saying like, "Look, you better go and get your little boyfriend and kill him, or else we're gonna have to. And if you interfere or do anything else, it is a direct violation to the Hunter Warrior Code, and you will be as much as a victim as him."
And much of and like Zapan pretty much at this point he had the backing of the Centurions.
Yeah.
Because like at this point like he called for backup, and like he really wanted to corner Alita into like getting to do the deed.
Yeah, like hurt her in a way that like you cannot hurt someone directly, and she she goes in, is crying. dying. Hugo's about to die anyway, so he says, like, look, just chop my head off and get it over with. And lo and behold, the Jennifer Connelly character shows up, who by this point, the reason why she had it out for Alita is because she felt Alita was a bastardized replacement for her daughter. That Ito didn't love the daughter anymore and was trying to escape that memory.
Yeah.
Even though at that scene she even says, I feel like I'm escaping from the memory of my daughter by trying to get back into Salem. So she helps Alita. Basically chop his head off, and then connect her heart to his head, so the brain is still getting oxygen and blood. And the Centurion is listed as okay. She took the bounty. Go ahead and take that to the factory if you want the money for it.
Yeah.
And Zapan, like, not buying it, lifts up the hood, sees what happens, tries to take the head, and the Centurions are like trying to steal another Hunter Warrior's bounty is against the law. And Alita is just like, oh, cool, so I can do this. She takes his Damascus blade and like chops half of his face off.
Yeah.
And it's such a funny little fuck you, because it's like, yeah, the whole point is that he loves his face. And you just see half of the face go off. You see like his front teeth just gone.
I know,
his molars.
Again, bridging that gap between the R rating and the PG-13.
Yup. And he's just like, oh gosh, he chopped my fucking face off. And he runs off, and Alita goes back to Ito, where Ito attaches him to a robot body, and Alita, knowing well who's responsible for this, goes into the factory. And I love that scene. She goes into the factory with the Damascus blade, and it's just like, the Centurions are like, we sense hostile intentions, surrender your weapon now. And she just like kills all of them. And when she goes to the Deckman base, which I really like the designs for the little AIs that would collect the bounties for them.
Yeah.
Because those are in the manga. And in the manga, they look stupid. I'll take a photo and like send it to you later, but it's flat out like, they're exactly like they are in the manga, except the mobile units.
Oh,
like,
really?
Yeah, like they can pop up anywhere and stuff and move around. But they have these big, stupid, poofy faces, and they talk like baby speak. Wait a minute, and it's like, oh my god. But yeah, they're really stupid in the book, and I kind of like how in this one, they look, the overall structure is the same, but they have like this really badass skull face.
Yeah.
And she takes down the entire Deckman terminal, goes up, where Vector's like, hey, did you guys get her? Did you get her? And even though he was on the top floor, she still found it like more appropriate to come in through the roof. And like, like tell him like, you were never going to send him to Salem and all this blah, blah, blah. And he's like, no, I was going to send him into Salem. I mean, do you want to see how I sent the professor to Salem?
Yep.
The Jennifer Connelly character. And he opens up this cabinet, and you just see her brain, her hands, and her eyeballs still functioning. And it's like, yeah, the doctor likes his body parts, so when someone wants to go to Salem, I take the money and then I chop them up into pieces and send them to the doctor.
Yeah, like pretty much here's pretty much his sick way of fulfilling that promise.
Yeah, it's one of those, like, I always keep my promises, I just don't really tell you how I do them.
He's like a genie.
Right? Oh god, you're right, like a monkey's paw. Like, I will send you to Salem, but only half of you.
He'll give you like he'll pretty much grant you your wish, but like with a horrible twist to it.
Right. So she at that moment when she's about to like just flat out kill him, Nova takes over and is like basically telling her how, you want to know how I love this line. Do you want to know how you stay entertained with immortality? Is watching other people die. And she ends up just like stabbing him, and it's such a funny scene because she stabs him, and the Vector Nova using Vector just looks down and he's like, oh, that looks fatal. Well, anyway, I was getting bored of Vector anyway. And he dies, and she gets a call from Ito saying the factory somehow found out that he wasn't dead, so I told Hugo to run. I have no idea where he went to. But he does, and that is because early in the film he said if he had the body like Alita, he would just climb up one of the tethers that were lifting up Zalem.
Yep.
But as we see in a flashback, the Zalem tethers have these freaking death blades that come down and wipe out anyone who tries to climb up.
Yeah, and they were pretty much a defensive measure against any invaders.
Yeah.
Because I don't know why they couldn't land like on the spaceships on the city. My guess is it's probably heavily defended by anti-air, so the safest way was like a ground approach.
Yeah, well, there's that scene where you see them climbing up and an armed ship is just crashing to the ground.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then like the tethers and everything, like pretty much they're pretty much defended by these like rotating blades that come down and just pretty much try to clear up anyone there, because pretty much what those tethers are used for, they're pretty much used to pretty much send materials up and down to Zalem. It's pretty much just a really long cargo elevator.
Yeah, and they Hugo ends up like climbing up there, and Alita is like talking him down, and he says, "Well, there's nothing for me," and she's like, "Well, we can escape and live together." And right when he's about to turn around, and the whole time, note that Nova, as we see now, the physical person of Nova is watching them, and right when he's about to turn around and walk back down, he turns on one of those fins, and he tries to jump over it, but gets like the entire bottom of his body torn up, is about to fall down. Alita jumps after him and is trying to hoist both of them back up, but the robot body is kind of shoddy, so it starts disconnecting by the arm.
Yep.
And he dies. And I will not forget some of the female reactions, because I don't think a lot of people saw that coming. They didn't really think they were going to kill him off like that. So when he died, I just hear a few people, "No way, no." And I even felt it, because again, like by this point, I actually forgot that Alita was a fully CG character. So when she started feeling sad, I really felt for her and was like, "Oh, that's terrible. You and her did not deserve that," and all that. And we skip on to months later, where Alita is about to go into the championship rounds of Motorball, who, as you can still see, is tormented by the past of what happened to Hugo, but is trying to push those feelings aside, because she knows after the last flashback she got, her main objective now is to destroy Zalem, and the only way you can go to Zalem is to win the Motorball matches.
Yep.
So she goes up, people are cheering for her, she lifts up her Damascus blade as if finally announcing to Nova that she is about to wage war on him. And
we forgot to mention, Gershka
also got
killed. Gershka got killed also as when she went to take out Vector.
Yeah, because on what's her name, the Jennifer Connelly character was gonna leave Vector, but you just see like the shadow of Gershka come up on her and the scene ends. So we know that like Gershka was just waiting and almost injured her a little bit, but she slices him down the middle in a really horrific way, because I like how she only sliced up his like face halfway, so when the body starts separating, you just see the top of the face just like rip apart.
Yep.
But she's but yeah, like Garishka's dead, and we also know that her nanobody can repair itself now.
Yeah, that was a neat thing, because like when she got impaled by Garishka, at first I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah, no repairing that, and it's just like it closes up, and it's like, oh, I guess she can be a little reckless now. But yeah, we see like the physical form of Nova, who takes off his glasses, which I don't think in the manga they're glasses. I think they're his actual eyes. But it's revealed that the person they want to play Nova is Edward Norton, who is the Hulk in the Incredible Hulk movie, the second Hulk movie. That's who was playing Nova. It was another one of his I'm already casting for the second movie kind of thing that was getting people mad. But yeah, it's Nova just looking down and basically saying that Alita is coming and he's ready for her whenever she decides to come up. But yeah, that was Battle Angel Alita.
And that was one of my friends. That was like one of the things that like my friend who got really interested in Alita and why he wanted to like get into the series into the first place. Because for him, that was too big of a cliffhanger for him to like end the movie right there.
Yeah, that was painful for me too. I'm just like, wait, don't end the movie here! God damn it! And all they had to do was cut out the motorball scene and end it at the scene where Hugo dies. And that would have been a full enough ending for me. But this one was flat out like, no, I gotta see what happens next. Mm-hmm. Especially since I want to see more motorball.
Yep. No, yeah, and again. This movie again, although it did have some of the cringiest dialogue I've ever heard.
Oh yeah.
It more than made up for like the choreography of the battle scenes, just how they move and everything, and just the fleshing out of the world again, the world building.
Yeah. Ooh, sorry.
Ooh, commercials.
Yeah, what is this for? Oh, it's like a Hulu show. Oh, okay. Anyway, let us start. So what were you saying?
We're trying to recognize what this song is from.
Oh, it's Swan Song. Oh, you'll recognize it right now. I told you I was gonna play the banger! Yeah, it's an actual music video too.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay, so, what were you saying?
So yeah, so this movie for me, whenever it comes to like a lot of these sci-fi movies and everything, I like it when a director, and more importantly a storyteller, it's not only like making a movie like, oh, it's post-apocalyptic or in the future or something like that as well, but it's able to like flesh it out and give it some like backbone or like history as to like what happened before we reached this point and everything.
Yeah.
Like whether through direct dialogue or just clues around like the background and everything, because like throughout the whole movie and everything, you hear them talking about like, oh, the Great War that happened between Earth and the the United Republic of United Republic of Mars.
Yeah.
And then like, yeah, you told them like there was this big war and everything, but when you see the environment, you just see like just how big just how big this war was, and just the mystery behind as well.
Yeah.
Because again, 2 different planets, 2 different technologies developed independent of each other as well, and.
Yeah, and like one of the biggest things too is like, it was the evil invading force in this, or is there something about Salem that they were trying to save Earth from?
No, for I believe the way they described it in the movie, it was kind of more like a civil war going on, where like like the people of Mars weren't getting like were being treated awful by the people from Earth or anything, or like there was just a disagreement between the two.
Yeah.
So that's where like Mars, the Mars Republic wanted to like name itself as an independent, pretty much as an independent nation that doesn't have to depend on Earth resources or anything.
Yeah.
So if anything, I imagine it was just a fight for independence.
Oh, okay.
And like the reason why they were targeting those floating cities, because they know like if they're able to wipe out those floating cities, then Earth has pretty much lost all of its place where it's developed most of its tech.
Yeah. And as Salem being the last final city, they can't afford to lose. They can't afford to like lose any whatever last advantage they have, which is why they're so exclusive now. Mm-hmm. But yeah, what else? Sorry.
And then for me, just that world building, and it was enough to me to like just get me more curious about like, oh, okay, more lost technology and everything. Like what's gonna happen in like the next series as well. And
yeah,
I agree with my friend about that cliffhanger. Ugh.
It was really painful. Because I remember, like, in the theater, when she's, like, about to start doing the motorball thing, I'm like, don't end the movie here, don't end the movie here, son of a bitch, you're ending the movie here. But, right. So sorry, I'm sorry.
No, you're good, man. Trust me, you're pretty much the way you reacted is pretty much exactly how I reacted in the movie as well.
Yeah.
And
sorry, I'm just playing the score from the movie because I thought that was a little too distracting.
Don't worry, I don't get distracted easily.
You're right. Alright.
But one of the things that like I feel for me made this movie enjoyable is the fact that I didn't feel like I was there for like the whole hour or so, hour to 2 hours that it ran and everything.
Oh yeah, no, it was like over an hour and 12 minutes. It was quite a long movie.
Yeah, but it didn't feel like it was long. Like, I found myself actually enjoying a lot of the things and everything.
Yeah.
the cringy dialogue kind of like ruined it for me every now and then, but like, oh, everything else more than made up for it.
Yeah.
And for me, really like this movie. I was actually kind of like excited for it when Alita first got announced, just because again when I saw I was kind of having, for me, Alita, I was hoping it for it to be that one movie where like, oh, is it gonna be that one diamond in the rough where like people are talking shit about it, but once people see it, they're like, this isn't as bad as we were thought it was gonna be.
Yeah. And it did kind of turn into that. Where, I mean, still the critics are like, yeah, this movie sucked. But we're talking about a movie that is, I'm gonna put the flames out right now. The movie is now a certified fresh. Critic-wise. It went up from a 59 to like a 60 just this week. So it's now a fresh movie, unless someone else comes and gives it a bad rating.
Wow.
But the audience rating is what's ridiculous. The audience rating is like a 94. And that only happens, I'm sorry, in my opinion, that only happens with legitimately bad movies, like Venom. But this is a movie that, you know, really does deserve that audience rating. But sorry, what were you saying?
No, I was done with mine. I'm like, I thought you were going into yours.
Oh, really? My bad.
That's why I was munching on the cinnamon roll.
Oh, my bad. Sorry. Anyway, yeah, it's like, this really is, it's one of those movies that when it came out, I'm like, wow, I'm a huge dork when it comes to hard fantasy and hard sci-fi. Like, I love Guardians of the Galaxy and Star Wars because I love, like, good old-fashioned space adventures. I love movies like The Hobbit are. Even to an extent, I find a little bit of enjoyment from Warcraft, even though it has shitty storytelling, because I love the environment of hard fantasy. And the fact that this is, like, hardcore cyberpunk that isn't trying to be philosophical like Blade Runner. It just wants to be like, look, we're in a cybernetic world, here's our backstory, we're going to now just have a bunch of fun right now. And we're going to hit you with every cool thing we got. We're even gonna take out some of the more ridiculous things in the manga to put in some more scientifically accurate stuff, because that's all that Cameron, like, that's what drew Cameron was the robotics in here.
Yeah.
Like, as we speak, there was a paraplegic girl who didn't have arms, that they gave her prosthetic arms that were modeled after Alita's berserker arms.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Alita, I want to see if I can find out, but it's like Alita fan. I'm gonna see if this is what I can find. No. But yeah, what they ended up doing. How do you spell prosthetic?
PROSTHETIC.
Oh, okay. Cool. Thank you.
Hi, Jim Carology and humans are coming from the meningococcal septicemia strain B.
Oops, sorry.
Oh wait, I like that yang.
It's Ying and Samugi.
I know, I noticed it.
Here we go.
Her a bespoke pair of advanced prosthetic arms.
So yeah, they basically, by giving this girl prosthetic arms, it's once again Cameron kind of showing that this world, Yakido kind of had something going in for it too. You know, this stuff could be possible one day, and we're already in the middle of the process of stuff like this being possible, with what Lewis was saying about transporting a person into a fake body, giving a girl fully functional prosthetic arms that are based off Alita's berserker arms.
What?
Yeah. They're really fucking cool. And it's funny, I feel really bad because I saw photos of the girl first and I'm like, hey, that's really good cosplay, oops.
I'm so grateful and lucky to be here, and I want to thank everyone who's involved.
Dude, that... Pardon my crass language, but that's bitching!
Right?
Holy Christ, that's amazing! Dude, and you know what? This is why I'm glad, like, just a little bit of advances we're making in technology, even now, because like those arms were 3D printed. The scaffold for those arms were 3D printed, and then everything else was just pretty much built around the skeleton of of those arms as well. So I'm actually impressed by that, and oh, just how far we
Yes.
means us in this current timeline have come far as well.
Yeah, because like the thing is with this movie that they did that I really like is everything in here cybernetic, because in the manga there's mutants in there, like genuine mutated people. The woman with the mantis scythes who attacks them in the beginning of the movie is actually a flat out mutated woman with like long claws.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and I'm really glad they got rid of that, because even at one point Alita fights a guy who created a serum that turns him into a werewolf. And I'm really glad that despite how ridiculous this movie is and how goofy it is, it really did try to ground itself to a level without forgetting the fact that it does come from a manga that is super ridiculous and not at all ashamed of being just a full-on popcorn, adventure flick.
Yeah.
And Rosa Salazar, I do not know anything about this woman, but she completely blew me away. Because I was like, wow, that's kind of weird. You're going for an actor who I've never heard of before. But again, she brings so much life and love into Alita that, again, there were scenes I did forget that Alita was a CG person. I thought there were moments where she felt like a genuine human being. Oops. Sorry, guys.
About to die?
Yeah, about to die. I thought we were good, but we went on longer than we thought.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, she brought a lot of life into Alita, and of course she had amazing chemistry with the always amazing Christoph Waltz, who again just brought in that genuine fatherly and loving care, and I'm so glad they created that. I'm really glad they created that backstory where he had a daughter, because in the manga, it's a little iffy on what Alita was to him.
Yeah.
Because in the manga, it could have gone either way. Was Alita a daughter to him, or was he sexually interested in her? In the movie, though, they flat out just tell you this is his surrogate daughter. And he feels like if he lets her die, then he's letting down another daughter, and he doesn't want that. And it's really enduring. So, yeah, and of course, of course there was not a lot of characters who got enough time like they should have. I think the Jennifer Connelly character should have gotten more time. Mahershala Ali was just so good. I would have liked him to be in there a little bit more. But the one thing I will always give a movie is if you can at least tell me what that character's about, tell me what makes them tick, really make this character feel like a genuine living being. I don't care if they don't have a 30-minute backstory or this giant paragraph behind them. As long as I get what this character's about, I get it. And that was the thing with Jennifer Connelly. She was an angry woman who felt like Christoph Waltz was trying to erase the memory of a daughter. Mahershala Ali was a businessman who was, of course, working for a guy who always thought he was the smartest man in the room until Nova started messing with him. And yeah, overall, as you hear, the motorball scene is amazing, and you're hearing a little bit of the soundtrack right there, because Dua Lipa's music is just too distracting for me that I didn't want to leave it playing the whole time.
You can chill out to the banger.
Yeah, chill out to the banger. Oh, I actually took a screenshot of what that anagram stood for, so I'll show you that in a bit. But
ooh, okay.
Yeah, it's overall, I love this movie. I can't wait for this to come out on Blu-ray so I can keep watching it. And I am so thankful to the entire team behind this movie who basically introduced me to what I think is now one of my favorite mangas, because I am a legitimate fan of this manga and I want to keep reading more of this. And yeah, that's my review. That's our review of the movie. That's what the both of us thought. So yeah, that's it. And
well, mine is the manga fan. I still haven't read it.
The manga. Yeah, you're right. Sorry, I forgot. But yeah, it's like, I'm just glad that like I'm finding more people who like that movie, and really I haven't really found anyone who doesn't like that movie, really. Like, even Mother's Basement made an entire movie. Like, you guys need to fucking see this movie. We need more movies like this. But
is that the acronym?
yeah, brilliant audible number groups excitably rock out to.
Wow.
Wait, what does
Banger.
that sound out for? Banger! Okay. Anyway, guys, I'm Danny,
I'm Squatcha.
and we will see you later.